every time I try to get into stuff like that, what they're like, someone's like, Alex needs to come back because you need an adult in the room. And I was like, I am an adult.
There were some texts about that saying that they claim that Drew and Bink
Bink is enabled.
They said enabled you, basically. You were enablers. They were enablers to you, is what they said about your idea last week.
Bink for sure was.
I'm fascinated to get your take on what may have happened in Punta Cana.
Okay.
And almost happened also.
Give me the breakdown again, and then I'll give you.
Are you ready for camp next week? Huh? We're about 6 days out from heading up to St. Joe.
I am painfully aware every time when camp is going to start. So it's tough because I'm excited camp starts because that means we're close to football. We're only 50 days away from the first NFL game today. So 50 days away, we'll get an actual football game. Okay. The Chiefs will play, sadly, several days later. It'll feel like forever in the sports weekend calendar to get there. But relatively close to getting actual football, which excites me. But camp, I looked up the 3 temps for the 3 days we'll be up there next week.
Don't tell
98,
me.
90, and 93, the current projected highs.
What, did you think it was going to be 75?
No, but I was hoping for 88, I guess, is probably it. But with camp approaching, it just makes you think about kind of the bigger picture stuff. And I'm dead serious. People, I'm just going to warn you now. If you've got some warped sense of reality and you think the first 6 weeks is going to be power eye, handing it to Kenneth Walker the entire time, that's not going to happen. Andy Reid, I genuinely think week 1, Patrick Mahomes is more likely to throw the ball 40 to 45 times than Kenneth Walker is to run it 20. I don't think you appreciate that coming off the knee injury will not change Andy Reid's opinion on whether or not he's going to throw the football. Scott Kaczmar had actually put out a stat. Donovan McNabb was coming back from a torn ACL to start the 2007 season. These were the first 3 plays. Pass, pass, intentional grounding, which was also a pass, also a pass. And then in the following drive, run, pass, pass. So, just to be clear, 6 of the first 7 plays with Donovan McNabb coming off an ACL injury were passes. Andy Reid is not going to they're not going to become a run team. They want a better running game. They will not run it more as a result of that. Is the thing that I think gets lost in this. I don't think they're going to run more to start the season.
I don't think that suddenly the run, Kenneth Walker's going to get 25 carries on Monday Night Football against the Broncos, to your point. But I think, again, it's not so much that people are expecting the Chiefs to go out and turn into a running offense. No, I think the question is, for Mahomes in his own right, on those RPOs, is he more willing to actually hand the ball off? Or is he going to continue to be as aggressive out of the RPO as he has? I wonder early on in the season, not necessarily the play calling, but how does Mahomes handle that? And if they get more explosive plays out of the run game from Ken Walker, does it just naturally lead to obviously less pass attempts because hopefully you're getting longer you're having shorter drives because your run game, instead of a 5-yard carry, it's a 10-yard carry, and
maybe just less attempts needed to get down the field.
Correct.
You mean?
Yeah. Instead of having to have as much as we always praise, it's so funny. It was the opposite last year, but for years it was always man, look at that 15-play, 85-yard drive that took up 7 minutes. In theory, that's really good, but also it becomes problematic if that's how you always have to do it. Meaning, you're eventually going to get a holding penalty that's going to stall out a drive. You're going to eventually have maybe a turnover. You cannot, late in the game, when there's 6 minutes on the clock, I want the 15-play drive that uses 5.5 minutes that seals the deal. But if you're always needing the 12 and 15-play drives, as great as that sounds on paper, you're also setting yourself up for the penalties and mistakes. We know you have to have the big play potential.
I think we've looked this up. The stats on if you get a 10-plus or 15 or 20-plus yard play in a single drive, the odds of you getting a touchdown increase exponentially. And so the idea that it wouldn't be there, I'm just saying the numbers they're not looking for more volume in the running game. They're looking for more efficiency in the running game, is my opinion. They rank 6th highest in pass percentage last year. Not surprising. They were a bad football team because they had to throw more because they were behind more. 10th most the year before that. 7th most the year before that. And so, I don't think, even go back to, let's say 2018. We all agreed that was a team that ran the football well, 10th most. 2017, they had the NFL's leading rusher. And Alex Smith, not Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback, they still finished 11th. And so they will throw it about the 7th to 10th most in the NFL with Patrick Mahomes. Every single time, without fail. That is their split, 60-40. That's just how they do it. They were at 58% that year. Last year's pass percentage was 59%. It hasn't changed dramatically for them in any given year. They pretty much stick to that number, 58, 59, or 60%. And so while I hope that Kenneth Walker is just more effective, I wouldn't plan on him just running the ball more, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I just don't think that's it's not going to be more attempts per game. Ideally, it'll just be more effective attempts.
It is funny looking at the play-by-play log from that September 9th, 2007 game where, as you said, Donovan McNabb was coming back from a torn ACL. So Monday Night Football against the Broncos, we got plenty of time before we get there, as you said, over 50 days. But the first 3 plays, like the chance of them all 3 being passes is very high still. Very, very high. As much as we're like, I'll hand the ball off. I honestly, there's the Mahomes story would be somehow against the Broncos, Cody throws 4 touchdowns on Monday Night Football and just goes off and just reminds everybody immediately that, oh yeah, I'm still here, baby. I'm still here. I'm still the best quarterback in football.
Does that seem out of the question? Like knowing Patrick Mahomes, does that seem totally out of the question?
Not at all.
Again, he just immediately threw the football the second. And again, it was McNabb, not like, I think that's important to note. It was McNabb, not Patrick Mahomes, a player that we know he obviously has more faith in or attempts that. So here's just an example of this. Donovan McNabb in that game, you had mentioned the start. He threw the ball 33 times, despite only completing 15 of the passes. Brian Westbrook led all rushers. He did touch the ball 20 times, but barely 20, and some of those were at the end of the game. And that was and you might be like, well, 33 times, maybe it was a high-scoring affair. 16-13. The final of that. And he still threw it 35 times. It was actually 40 dropbacks. He let McNabb run it, or at least scramble a few times during that match. He didn't actually run it, but he did scramble. And so, I just don't think that there's some secret plan to, change who they are offensively. Teams do that, and he doesn't. Not like the number or amount they run. They change scheme or how they attack it, but never the number. They have been solid as a rock the entire time with how much they pass. That did not change because Ken Walker showed up. Despite, I guess some concern over that. We'll see. Someone says pass game also has to improve. Well, yeah, the whole offense has to improve. The team's stuck.
I do think that we've said this. I mean, Ken Walker, his effectiveness on the ground should make life easier for Kelsey, for Rashee Rice, for Xavier Worthy heading into this football season where there's not as much pressure on them in particular. And also, we just know the attention, right? You have to make sure this defense is actually somewhat fearful of your run game, somewhat fearful in RPO that you're willing to hand the ball off, which then down the road, later on in the year, Cody, then you can pass out of it maybe a little bit more as well. But yeah, I don't think anybody's crazy in actually thinking that I would be shocked if anybody actually thought the Chiefs were running the ball 40 times or something like that on Monday Night Football.
I think there's people who think that maybe for the first they'll protect him, and I'm like, Andy doesn't do that. I just told you went pass in that game.
I don't think they're gonna overly protect him because there's reports that he's gonna get cleared this week before next week's training camp. But I still don't think we should expect necessarily, unless it's just the 4 touchdown ridiculousness on Monday Night Football. I don't think you should expect Mahomes though to be 100% in terms of every aspect of his game that we've gotten used to. Is that going to be there and part of his own arsenal right away? We'll see. We'll learn on Monday night. That part may not be there yet. That doesn't mean that he's going to stink. Doesn't mean that they're going to run the ball a bunch, but is there still a chance where, hey, in December, is he more willing to run up the sideline and juke a guy and stay in bounds? Whereas in week 1 against Denver, maybe he does step out of bounds. That's the kind of stuff that I wonder if we won't see yet.
Yeah, he might be, and I would hope so, a little more personally cautious as he runs and moves. Maybe they tell him to slide a little bit earlier, but the usage isn't going to look any different. You mentioned it to open the show, though. Salvador Perez is only 1 home run away from tying George Brett's Royals home run record. Yeah. It's a big record for the Royals. They've never had a lot of power in their system, and the fact that their leading home run guy would still only be in the 300s, not great. But George Brett is an all-time Royal, and for Salvador Perez, another all-time Royal. This is still a massive accomplishment to get in there. I do think it's important that he still has things like this for his future Hall of Fame chances, because I'm worried it's going a little bit of the way of Russell Wilson, where you can't go out stinky.
Oh, that's not a fair comp. That's not a fair comp. That's not even. Look,
it would take years of this.
Yeah, Salvador Perez has been disappointing this year, but we're not anywhere near what has happened for the last 4 years of
but
Russell Wilson's career. But I also don't think you can
just go out like bad. You know?
No, but again, I don't think is frustrating. Salvador Perez has not been good this year, but I'd push back on that comp of what you're saying. What happened with Russell Wilson down the stretch is not anywhere near what is happening. I mean, Salvador Perez is also just 2 years removed of having a phenomenal season. So I disagree with that, unless you're telling me this is what he's going to do for the next 4 years and keep on playing. But I agree that overall, passing George Brett eventually, which could happen tonight, could happen this week, we'll see on the Royals list. Yeah, that is important for Cooperstown. That is absolutely important. And he did pass Ivan Rodriguez on 2 different lists too. That's very significant given his stature in Major League Baseball history as well. But it's his 312th career home run. Excuse me,
catcher is crazy.
Yeah, sorry, not 312. We're at what are we at now? 316, 317. I'm off on the exact number. That's my bad.
I don't know.
During this run this year,
I've just been counting how many until he gets there, not the total.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I know he's one away from Brett. I just lost track of the exact number. During this season though, he has passed.
He has 316.
Okay, so 317 would tie. He's passed Ivan Rodriguez during this season. I thought that was notable and important for his Cooperstown chances.
He had, going into the season, 303 career home runs. As you just mentioned, he just passed Pudge, who was at 311.
Yeah.
There would only be 5 catchers ahead of him and all-time home runs left on the list. Lance Parrish, who he would pass if he continued to play baseball because he's at 324. Yogi Berra is at 336. So if he gets to, let's say, 320 this year, that's a gross underestimate. But he gets to 320 this year, he'll only need 16 more home runs to be 4th most all time. He's only 40 home runs shy of Johnny Bench. Like, he's never catching Piazza unless for some reason he decides to play 4 more seasons at 20 home runs each. But he's not as far off as you think. Because if he gets to 325 this year, Gold, he will only be 75 home runs away from the all-time #1 spot in most career home runs by a catcher. Like, I'm not saying he's going to get there because he would need to play 3 full seasons, and I don't think he's going to do that. But he's not as far off. It's not crazy because Piazza's 30 ahead of Fisk. It's not crazy he's going to finish second all time. Like, that's a huge deal at his position. So I don't want to, undersell it. And I'll point out Carlton Fisk had played in 700 more games than Salvador Perez had played at that point. He got to that number, the home run total, faster than Pudge did in 800 more games than Salvador Perez has currently played. He's one of the best hitting catchers of all time.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. There's a few things that he can clean up. There's a few things he could clean up in this next year or two, whether it's in a Royals uniform or not. We'll just see this inching off season. I know contract-wise he's under contract, but still, I think there's some tough conversations that need to happen in this offseason that maybe didn't happen this past offseason, just in terms of his role and playing time, especially with what we've seen, Cody, as Carter Jensen has really improved as a catcher as the season has gone on and is part of the future. And clearly we're on the back end here for Salvador Perez's career. But we've talked in the past to JJ Picollo, who's going to join us in 15 minutes, about, look, there's the Salvador Perez, the importance to him, right, on certain milestones and becoming a Hall of Famer. And the Royals, of course, want to help him get there as well. But there's also there's the balance between the two of you also have to do what's best for your team moving forward. But he's going to, maybe it happens tonight. He might tie George Brett tonight. It's going to happen this week. He'll break the record this week.
You think it's going to happen?
Yeah.
Soon?
Yeah.
Well, that makes me kind of want to go out to the K, though, then, because although it's hot, but that part of it, this idea that he could still end up there, because this season's been slow for him, but he still has 13 home runs. He's still, and for a catcher, that's a lot. That's how he ends up climbing up those career rankings list. He missed an entire season due to injury, too. And so, when you go back through and, what was it, 2018 or 19 or whatever it was when he missed a whole year. And so, I can appreciate everything he's done. In his last 5 seasons, 48, 23, 23, 27, and 30 home runs. He has 13 this year. He'll probably finish with 20-ish by the time it's all said and done, which is certainly not going to move him up, but he's going to finish top 5 all time in a lot of catcher categories. And he's a well-respected defensive catcher other than the framing stuff.
And he's one of the most liked players in baseball. We can keep going,
he's all
right?
With the same team and all these other things.
And that last part there, I do think is a huge part for your Hall of Fame case. As rare as it is in baseball now, a player that is likely going to start to finish with one team. That's just not really happening in baseball anymore. That to me should be something if you're looking in a tight case for a Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame bid and everything. That should matter if you already have all the other accomplishments to go along with it. Like that should matter that you did it all with one team. You didn't bounce around.
Yeah. And that'll help him. And the fact that when he passes somebody, it helps Gold when you're passing somebody with a name. He's passing George Brett, a first ballot Hall of Famer, largely considered the single greatest Royal to ever play. That's a good person to be passing. Even if he wasn't a constant home run guy, that's the right guy to pass on the list. And it goes a long way in, I guess, assuring the rest of the voters inside of it. Look, sometimes this is the only problem I have with this is I hate rooting for having those things to happen because it's like, that's all we've had this year. Like, okay, Cags in the Derby.
No, that's all you got.
Salvador Perez to pass this or, Cags hitting a home run in a game or Carter. It's like individual victories. No team victories.
We've had too many seasons like that in Royals fandom, unfortunately. Because one of the teams got 41 wins, and here it is. It's July 21st.
Yeah, like where you're rooting for Jorge Soler to break the single-season home run record in a season that doesn't matter, Those things. And that's the other part I like about Salvi is that he does tie the franchise record for that as well.
By the way, this year we've partnered with KCUC, who's donating $50 to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for every home run the boys in blue hit this season. 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. And at KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team, you see the best in KC. Scheduled today at kcuc.com. Coming up in about 12 minutes, we'll check in with the general manager of the Royals, JJ Picollo, ask him about Salvi a little bit. I definitely want to find out the latest on Bobby Witt Jr.'s back, as he was in the lineup yesterday, then had to be pulled. That's concerning, considering any athlete that starts to have some, even if it's back tightness, you always get a little concerned.
Seems like it lingers.
I'll be honest, we'll hear what he has to say. Just without knowing any more details since last night, given where the season's at, I'm shutting him down for like a week plus. I'm not even, what am I risking? Why? Why? And I understand the player wants to play. I get it. But man,
and Bobby's the kind of player that you don't tell whether or not they can play or not. But
I just wouldn't mess with it. Back injury for my superstar. Okay, in a year in which it's turned into a lost season.
You might take a couple of days. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say you're sitting on the bench for a bit.
And look, it's looking pretty thin at the bottom of this roster right now. They keep signing, they're bringing back roster names and minor league deals of players I hadn't heard of in 10 years. They signed Aaron Bummer yesterday. Is that what I saw? It's just like so far down the list now. It's bleak to say the least. You said you had questions.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of questions you'd possibly have. Drew, it seemed pretty self-explanatory. Did you guys give him the rundown of my
Basically,
purchase?
yeah.
I was told that you are attempting to buy a $40,000 shed.
Correct.
And I know which shed it is.
It's the Argentina's Calm trailer.
And I found the Facebook listing as well, and it says it needs to be hauled away. There's no siding on one or two of the sides.
Correct.
I'm confused why you want this so bad and why you're willing to pay how much for it?
Well, so I can't pay $40,000 anymore
Right.
because Johnny Palumbo said you can't take money from listeners for this.
Well, I could have told you that. You didn't have to talk to the corporate lawyers. We knew this.
Well, but I wanted to try.
Did you get Palumbo involved while I was gone?
Well, I wanted to know whether, in a good way. I was following rules.
Goodness.
I just wanted to know whether or not
What happened to the
GoFundMe's-
above board show stuff?
This was above board. Normally, I wouldn't ask. This time, I at least checked to see what the rules are in Kickstarters or GoFundMe.
So you wanted listeners to buy you a shed
Well, it was
for your backyard. That's what I was told.
But people were invited and were allowed free drinks.
Oh,
the name of the bar, which is what it was going to be, was Messy Taps.
And I said,
we had this whole plan.
And I said, I don't think you can use the name Messi for your restaurant or bar, Cody.
In the back of my house. It's not like it's a regular.
Where's your
business.
liquor license?
So what's not a liquor
You
license?
said you're going to invite people over for drinks.
I can invite friends
Listeners.
over for drinks. It doesn't mean
But
I have to.
yeah, you're promoting it on the radio. I'm just telling you. I thought we cleared this hurdle a long time ago. I thought we agreed that this wasn't happening anymore.
I checked. I made sure not to.
Text line yesterday said Drew enabled you throughout this entire thing.
Drew made it seem like he just thinks I should lowball him. He thinks I just need to come in with $1,000 offer and that they'd take it because they're not. This is the thing that I'll still say. The eBay listing went with 0 bids. The Facebook marketplace has clearly gotten no buzz. No one is purchasing this $40,000 trailer. So they should just either give it to me.
Why give it to you out of all the people they could give it to?
Well,
Why you?
But why not me? I guess is the question. Because I've expressed the most interest in it. That's
You
why
sure?
me.
You don't know if somebody else isn't behind the scenes working on this?
I don't like. This was kind of, I think, the initial part of it is who is the other person attempting to get this.
But my question
only
for
be
you
me.
is this not like a shed in which Messi like sat in the shed and you can have this huge
Or
backstory.
like unique one-of-a-kind
It was
items.
the PR staff.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Messi
like,
could have gone in there. And it's very nice.
there was no press conferences in that room.
No, maybe he did a Zoom or something interview.
No, he didn't.
You
No, he
don't
didn't.
think he popped out to that
Go
thing?
buy if you want a shed in your backyard. Go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, go get one of the prefab sheds, and just paint it blue or
It's
whatever.
not nearly as cool as this one.
It's also not $40,000 like this one.
That is accurate. A shed, the one you're talking about, is a few $1,000s.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says
Are
you
you
sell
gonna do-
tickets and then turn into drinks.
Is this where your underground poker games are going to be held?
It could be. They said it's the size of a one-car garage. Maybe I could put the table out there.
No, it's got electrical. I
It has
saw.
electrical.
No
It'd be
AC. You got to
oh,
get
it has a
AC.
unit. It has an AC unit attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like a really nice outdoor space. Plumbing is the only part of the issue. And the only issue I think my wife took with this whole plan when I was trying to figure out if I could get a GoFundMe was, do the people who come to Messy Taps need to come inside to use our restroom?
Yes.
And in short, it's like, well, yeah, because this one doesn't have a restroom. And we don't want people just using the bathroom outside. That's crazy. And
So what's the latest on this?
So I've made a couple of overtures, but they have not.
How are you getting it hauled away?
Well, so this is where we have the best listeners in the
We
world.
do.
You know
We
that?
do. We do.
Multiple, not one, but multiple freight shippers have offered to
Pick it up
pick this up for me.
and drop it in your backyard.
Yeah, and I'm not like it's like right at the riverfront, so it's not even that far of a drive. The crane part is the only real issue.
Yeah.
Craning it up and then craning it into my backyard. And I told that person that they get, for doing that kindness, unlimited. They get to come to Messy Taps forever. And we were going to do a founder's wall if they were going to let people donate.
Well,
I
yeah,
had
we
a
tried
whole
this. Well,
plan.
that part we were going to do with the C&G pizza. But again,
I know, but they
you
won't
and
let
I
me
know
take people's
we
money.
can't do. We learned this a long time ago.
Why not? What if I just sign something?
Because Johnny Palumbo corporate said no.
We can't just can't have people sign a waiver if they donate? You know?
Nope.
Can't we,
You messed up the minute you brought it up on air. See,
I will say, I drew too much attention to it.
If you would have just done it on your individual Twitter account, never brought it up on the show, I think you would have had a chance of making it happen.
The problem was the second we brought it up on the air, it really did end up being like every single local news station had a story on it by the end of the week. It was like, we actively encouraged essentially McKinsey to do it. It's like, might as well.
Some other bar in the area that's like viewed as a soccer bar or something should buy it.
Oh, okay. And turn it into like a, like something they can
Someone
pop in
says
for?
they just passed the hotel. The shed is gone.
What?
Oh, someone needs to confirm this.
No, what?
Someone needs to confirm. Is it gone? Someone already bought it? They're not going to let you buy it. You didn't have the funds to buy it anyway.
I didn't have 40K.
Yeah, somebody else probably offered 20 and they took it.
Who? Who's the
Somebody
owner of
else
this?
with money.
With actual money.
You were wasting this person's time. You
think
weren't a
it's-
serious bidder. You didn't have the funds. That's like you going into a.
It's still on
that's-
Facebook
Cody, that's like
Marketplace.
you go.
They're
That's,
saying it's gone?
that's like you going into a Ferrari dealership. You're wasting their damn time. You're not buying a Ferrari. I'm not buying a Ferrari.
They're selling a shed.
That's it.
For $40K.
You got 40K just lying around?
Not lying around. Have to really divest in some situations.
Getting at to finance this damn shed.
The dip of the old 401k or something, Wouldn't be able to do
The
it.
person says just messing around. It's still there. Okay. All right, Cody. Crisis averted for you.
I was like, who?
Up next, let's talk some Royals baseball with the general manager of the Royals, JJ Picollo. We'll ask him about Bobby Witt Jr.'s health. Salvador Perez, chance to make some history, maybe this week.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
When your plumbing systems need help, AB May is here to help your house feel like a home again. Serving Kansas City for over 65 years, AB May handles sump pumps, water heater installs, drain clearing, sewer line repairs, and much more. When it comes to your home, solved is our standard. And AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Trusted by generations. Call AB May at 913-383-2222 or visit abmay.com today.
Call your serviceman from AB May. Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Conservative, family man, author of The Bald Plan to Reduce Property Taxes. Listen to Scott Schwab.
Property taxes are killing Kansans, but one day it hit me. BALD.
BALD stands for Better Affordable Living by Decreasing Property Taxes. And it's the only detailed plan. Schwab's BALD plan means voter approval for property tax hikes, refunds for unfair assessments, and tax relief for seniors and working families. Listen to Scott Schwab.
I'm focused on reducing taxes for Kansans. You should keep more. My BALD plan makes sure of it. When I'm governor, we'll get it done.
Finally, a governor with a good head on his shoulders. Author of the BALD Plan to Decrease Property Taxes. Conservative Republican Scott Schwab for governor. Visit scottschwab.com/bald to learn more. Paid for by Schwab for Governor, Jim Felter, Treasurer.
Listen up, guys. Do you think you know who's going yard today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to prove your baseball expertise with Daily Dingers. Here's how it works. Make your pick on who's going to hit a home run, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at extra winnings. Now, when your favorite star goes deep and knocks it out of the park, it'll feel that much sweeter. Daily Dingers is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the baseball season, and that's why FanDuel is your home for home runs. Get ready to play your game. Make your first pick at FanDuel.com/local. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's going yard today. FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help. And help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
This report is brought to you by Rawhide Harley Davidson.
Rawhide Harley is giving NADA retail value when you trade your bike for a new Harley this week. 100% of all credit applications considered. Rawhide Harley's retail trade value for your bike ends this Sunday. Stay tight and ride hard. Adjustments made based on reconditioning and mileage. Any negative trade-in equity may be applied to new amount financed on approved credit.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold again. Full show back together coming up in 20 minutes. Cody has a question about something I discussed for my trip down in the Dominican Republic over the weekend. I'm sure you heard about what occurred at Coco Bongo. Have you heard of Coco Bongo? No. I was in Punta Cana. We went off resort one time, and it almost turned disastrous.
Just one time. That's it.
I will get to
That's all
that
it takes.
in 20 minutes. People said I had a close call. Based on the story yesterday. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's get back into the Kansas City Royals. We welcome in the general manager and president of baseball operations, JJ Picollo, with us here on 96.5 The Fan. And I believe did we just lose him there? Okay, we lost him. We'll get him reconnected. Okay, let me know when we have him again. We had him and then we lost him. So we'll get to JJ in just about 30 seconds, I think.
Don't know what happened. Said it cut him off. So probably, let's admit it. This is definitely our phone system. Not
for
the
sure.
Other way around.
For sure.
I can't say that I'm shocked that Coco Bongo is the place where maybe you were running into trouble.
It was a blast though. But as I told the story yesterday, I also think I was close to getting kidnapped.
I'm going to need to hear it straight from you. Because it feels like me just getting this information secondhand isn't telling me the entirety of the story. In which case, maybe we're running into a little bit of a, we'll see how this sounds coming straight from you instead. Hopefully, we'll get our phones up and working.
All right, I believe we've got it connected now. Apologies for that. Let's go out to the phones and welcome in the general manager and president of baseball operations, JJ Picollo. JJ, good to have you on the show. Sorry about that. I wanted to start, though. I'm sure fans are wondering about Bobby Witt Jr. and just where his health is at. We all know he had the back tightness on Saturday, wasn't in the lineup Sunday, back in it yesterday, but then had to leave again. What can you tell us about where Bobby Witt Jr.'s health is right now?
Yeah, we'll know better today when he gets in just to see how he feels. I would imagine he's not going to play today, and, we might take it day to day, but, you got a superstar player that we want to be careful with. And, he plays hard. That's the bottom line. He plays hard. Unfortunately, the tough part about being in all-star games, you don't get that 4-day break like most players get. And, he was active during those days. So I think you put all those things together. Now we're playing in some extreme heat, and it adds up a little bit. And it's taking its toll on him. But we're clearly going to be very careful with him. But I would say overall there's not extreme concern. It's just wanting to handle him correctly.
How do you guys handle these injuries where you're you don't want it to become ever a long-term issue, right? Like something an off-season couldn't get back to 100% versus – we talked about this before, standings versus team, but Bobby's one of those players that wants to play every day. How do you guys handle a season-long adjustment to an injury like this if it's something that could flare up?
Yeah, well, you got to listen to the player. We'll do all of our testing, and we'll have a good handle on what exactly the diagnosis is, and right now it's nothing serious. But you want to, again, because Bobby plays so hard, there's not a night that goes by. He's not sliding. He's not diving. He's always doing something. You have to recognize how that player plays. We got to recognize where we are in the season. You always look at upcoming off days. Could you give him an off day the day before, the day after an off day, so he gets 2 days off? You just got to be careful with him. Bobby wants to play every day. This goes back 2 years ago. I remember we went 161 games and we had clinched on a Saturday night, and game 162, he's like, you know what, I'm taking off because I want to play on Monday and be fresh for the playoffs. So he's got that drive, very similar to Salvi. Salvi very rarely plays at 100%. But he manages it. And I think Bobby's going to learn how to manage these things and already has. But we also have to be sort of a guiding hand here between, let's just be smart and logical about things more so than being so aggressive and just say, yeah, go ahead and go get him.
Thinking of Salvador Perez, we now know he's one homer away from tying George Brett's all-time Royals home run record with the home run that he had yesterday. Maybe he breaks it tonight, hopefully. We've talked to you in the past just about how important, eventually, hopefully getting into the Hall of Fame is for Salvi and his standing in baseball history. What do you think this record would mean to him?
I think it would mean a lot. Salvi, the number one thing for Salvi has always been that he wants to win. And, I think it was said last night after the game, we hope whenever he ties and breaks, it's also on the heels of a win, because it always makes it that much more special, especially for Salvi. But, he's solidified his place in Royals history. But when you are tying and surpassing George Brett, the greatest player in our history and one of the greatest players of all time, that's that's a different level. That's something that's really, really special. And I know deep down inside, I don't think Salvi will ever say he wants to pass George, but he's a competitor. And he's right there. He's knocking on the door. This isn't any surprise coming into the year. I think he needed 17 coming into the year, so it's not a surprise that he's going to tie and surpass George any moment now, and it's exciting for the organization. I mean, it's the old thing: records are meant to be broken. One thing I really always stood out to me about George Brett in 2015. I don't think there was a person any happier for us winning that year than George. And I think that just stood out to me because it was 1985, his team, but he was happier than anyone. So I would imagine he's going to be the exact same way when Salvi breaks his record.
Does he pay attention to the all-time list, just out of curiosity? Because he passed Pudge for 7th most all-time, but he's not crazy far behind being top 5, and top 4 or even top 2 is not out of the question for him.
Yeah, I don't know if he pays attention to it, but certainly, the media and social media will make him aware. I think when he tied Johnny Bench's record, I think we were in Cleveland, he was very excited about it, but it was more of an honor to be mentioned with Johnny Bench. And I think Salvi will approach all of this the same way. So I don't think he goes to bed or wakes up thinking about, I want to be, second all time home runs for catchers, but logically speaking, that is your resume. And when it comes time for Hall of Fame balloting, they're the things that are going to be talked about. These, whatever, 4th, 5th, all time for catchers, games played, all those things that, go into a Hall of Fame resume. They're all important, but again, Salvi wants to win. It's the team concept, but, because he's been able to do that, I think he's achieved some of these individual achievements, just because he thinks about the team first. And when you do that, players have good seasons, they have great careers, and that's what Salvi's done.
I want to ask you about some individual players here in just a little bit, but last week, JJ, I think I put the way I was viewing the season at this moment as I wanted some of the players who had been there to prove that they are who they still are. So guys like Salvador Perez or Vinny, or even like what you guys have in a manager in Q. Do you kind of view, I know you still want to win, but do you view part of this as being, hey, give us evidence to prove that these are the right guys going forward too, from a manager end, from a player end? Do you guys look at the season that way at all?
I think that's always going on. Regardless of what's happening, winning or losing, we're constantly evaluating players. And, we say it all the time. We're always trying to improve our roster. There's no perfect roster out there. No matter what team it is, there's no perfect roster. There's always places to get better. It certainly makes us feel better going into an off season when guys have established themselves. Like, okay, we can count on this player. We can count on this person. That makes you feel good because it's hard to rework your entire team every single year. So the more knowns that you have, the easier the off season is, and I know going into this off season, our pitching is going to be a concern. I mean, we know that right now. We knew it going into this year with the bullpen. We've had a really unfortunate run of injuries to starting pitchers. That makes it really challenging to get through games. So, anybody who can establish and firmly place their feet in a spot on our team right now helps us manage the offseason even better. So we're constantly evaluating those things, whether we're 20 games over or 20 games under 500. You're always evaluating those things. So I don't think it's any different. Our biggest challenge right now is to go into every single game like it's the most important game of the year. We want to win every game that we possibly can. So that focus always has to be there regardless of what your record currently is. And that's what we're trying to focus on right now. We're not having meetings with players saying, hey, you have 2 months here to show that you belong on this team. They know that. They're very smart. They know what's going on and what the coaches and front office are doing from an evaluation standpoint.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on the Golden Oak Lending phone line. The next time we will have you on the show, I believe it'll be the day after the trade deadline. How much, if at all, have the calls started to pick up with people reaching out to you, or have you guys reaching out to other teams, knowing that we're getting pretty close here to the deadline?
Yeah, it'd be very open. It actually picked up a lot yesterday. It was almost like a memo went out. Okay, let's start now. But
2 weeks.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with the draft, ending last Sunday, and then you go into an all-star break, and then you get everybody back together in town, and now you have deeper discussions because now you're focused on the trade deadline. There's always been some soft discussions about it prior to. Now this is what's in front of us, so you really lock down and you focus on what you may accomplish as a team. And, yesterday seemed to be the day that things picked up.
One of the names we think teams will expect an interest on is Lane Thomas. What just has changed for him this season? Because now you look at the season numbers, JJ, pretty good. Looks like a gamble that paid off for you guys this offseason. What has changed for him?
Yeah, I think he's just gotten comfortable. He came off the injury last year with the plantar fasciitis. He had the surgery. Early on, he wasn't playing as regularly as he is right now, but he's earned the right to play regularly, whether it's a right-hander or left-hander. He's just settled in. I mean, this isn't the first time Lane's swung the bat well in his career. You look back, he's had good runs in the past, and this is what we would have expected. Would have been nice to have it all year long, but he still has another 60-some games to go. Who knows what his numbers are going to look like by the end of the year, but they're lining up like we anticipated that they would. He's very hot right now, one of the hottest hitters, going into the end of July here, which is a great thing for us, either whether he's with us or not. That's a great thing for us, because going back to trying to win every night, he's helped us win some ball games here since we've gotten back from the break, and prior to the break, he's swinging the bat well. So it's good to see. And, he's an easy guy to root for. He's a team guy. That was a big reason why we signed him. We believed in the ability. We believed he was going to fit in our clubhouse, and he's certainly done so.
When you look at, I guess, like you'd mentioned the pitching going into next year and some of the concern over it, is there any, I know this is a little bit in the early game, but is there thought that two of the big names you guys have in the top 100, Shields or Churio, are fast rising enough that they are within a year of helping you, or is this more like a 2 or 3 year thing? Just thinking about how the pitching staff might need people down the road.
The way I'll speak, from my perspective, I don't like speeding the clock up when it comes to planning. We won't go into this offseason, all right, Churio or Shields is going to be with us next July. Like, we're not going to plan that way. We're going to plan like we need to fill out our roster and let those guys develop as they should, because when they come up to the major leagues, they're going to be faced with challenges. So we want to make sure they're as prepared as they possibly can be for the challenges that lie ahead in the big leagues. So, you always do some projected rosters, but you still project them a couple years away. And if they speed up because they're earning their way up, then that's a great thing for us. We say it all the time. You never have enough pitching. So if you have two young pitchers that seem like they're ready for the major leagues faster than you expected, that's a great thing. But right now, we want them to, the old saying, be where your feet are. Right now, they're in high A ball. That's still really 3 levels away from the major leagues. So they got work to do. They're doing extremely well. I'm sure Churio threw the no-hitter, partial no-hitter, shared no-hitter the other day. We were disappointed. David Shields wasn't in the futures game. I think he's been pitcher of the week 3 times this year. I don't know what a guy needs to do, but, that is what it is. It doesn't take away from what he's doing. We certainly notice it and have a lot of confidence. We see his velocity creeping up a little bit. His breaking ball's tightening up. He's doing everything. And, I think people forget, too, that he was a 17-year-old high school senior. So he's a very young player at the level that he's playing at. And obviously Churio is even younger, but you're talking about 2 really like teenagers pitching at a high A level where there's a bunch of college players in there, and they're really, more than holding their own. So that's a great thing for us.
Back to the trade deadline just for a second, as we're talking to the general manager of the Royals, JJ Picollo. How much of it all, whether it's you guys or just even in these conversations you're having with other teams, does the potential uncertainty of next year around the CBA play a role at all for how you or other teams approach the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it, but in the end, the teams that we'll be talking to are teams that are trying to win. They're not worried about 2027 right now. They're worried about 2026. I don't think that's going to factor in a whole lot. I think maybe players that are on expiring contracts in 2027, that could potentially play a factor in what their value is. But in the end, the team that wants that player the most is going to pay what they need to pay to get that player. And I think the seller on the other end is going to make out just fine.
Last question I have for you, JJ, just because I found the article itself interesting, so I didn't know how it was affecting you guys. There's a big AI crackdown, apparently, from baseball because of the way it was being used in dugouts by maybe some teams. I don't know if it was yours or not. What do you guys think about the usage of these things in games, or what's been taking place in baseball to try to limit it in some capacity? I guess just where are you guys as an organization on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think every team's always looking for an edge somehow. And, if I understand the whole investigation correctly, there was no sanctions handed out for any wrongdoing. I think what teams were doing were finding, I don't even know if you could call them loopholes, but they were finding ways within the rules to maximize information you could get that sort of circumvents the spirit of the rule. But it wasn't breaking the rules. Otherwise, we would have heard more about it. And I think MLB is just doing what they do. They police it. They're tightening things up. We go through these things pretty often. It's usually just not in the middle of the season something like that happens. So I don't really know. I will tell you, we weren't one of the teams. We try to gain any advantage we can, but whatever we're doing, we never got a call about it. So when we got the memo from the league, clearly they found out about some questionable ways of using the iPads. But the iPads are regulated by MLB operators every night. Everything that's loaded is approved by MLB. So it's already pretty tight. But I think this was just a warning, like we're not going to let it get any more loose than it has been right now.
Separate from the dugout usage, just out of curiosity, as a front office, though, like how much on a yearly, daily basis do you guys as a front office use AI?
Well, we use it a lot. I mean, our whole in-house system is built around and really represents AI. I mean, there's all kinds of projection models and whatnot in it. So we use AI. The one thing we try to be careful of is, just because, Claude spits it out doesn't mean it's 100% accurate. So anything we might use, we have to fact check it and, do a deeper dive to figure out if it's actually accurate. You can make a lot of mistakes if you just go with what AI tells you. So you just got to be careful with it. But, we do use it. I think every organization in any profession is using AI in some fashion. So we do use it, but it's not, I'll give you a quick example. A player could go in and say, I'm facing pitcher X tonight. Tell me how I need to game plan. It'll spit something out for you, but it doesn't mean it's the right game plan. So if we've got players doing that, and we have had players come to us and say, what do you think about this? We just match it up with the information we have. And you know what? If it's accurate, okay, it's not bad, but, be careful that you're just not following what Claude or whatever other engines are telling you. So we just got to be careful, monitor it. It's not the answer, but it may be part of the answer. So you just use it intelligently.
JJ Picollo, Royals General Manager, President of Baseball Operations. Appreciate the time. We'll check in here in a few weeks.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
There you go. JJ Picollo with us here on 96.5 The Fan. Just was interesting. We've had these, all three of us had this discussion about AI and whether it's the NFL or baseball and how much like teams use it, right? You need it. You can't fully have it be everything for you, but of course you're going to use it in your organization.
It's just like, I remember you and I having a conversation like, there's not someone in there just saying like, hey, should I throw this pitcher? I think there might have been for a while. I think there might have been some teams sitting in dugouts being like,
about that.
who should I have pitch?
The Mets.
And they were just letting Claude choose.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous.
Oh, it's idiotic.
That's crazy.
But I do think that was like, if you read quotes about some of the articles and stuff, teams were doing almost exactly that in some cases. Sounds like not the Royals, but who knows?
I think Aaron Judge also had some comments in that story that was written about it.
They're cracking down on it, so at least we don't have to worry too much about that. We can talk more about that later in the show. It is interesting for sure. There's no doubt about it. I need firsthand knowledge. So somebody, all I heard was secondhand. Someone said Alex almost got kidnapped. Tell me what happened.
Look, so, okay, I'll try to tell it quicker than yesterday because we already talked about it yesterday. But basically, so I was in Punta Cana. We went to this place called Coco Bongo, which is like a club/show place. I don't know if you saw the video.
Sure.
It's a club, but they also do different like aerial acts, and it was a really cool place. Anyway, at one point in time, we were in an area, the tables were cheap there, so we had a table. So we're in this like air quote VIP area, okay? And this woman all of a sudden is like standing behind us. So we have a table, and then there's like this ledge where
like behind
you can
the
stand.
booth.
You can
Got
stand behind us, and there was a whole row of people standing behind us. Didn't say anything to her for much of the night, and then like a couple hours into the night, all of a sudden somehow we struck up a conversation. Now she's Dominican, so like it was hard to have a full blown conversation, but whatever. So we were fine, dancing, whatever, talking. Turns out she's like a Dominican model. We share Instagram accounts. We follow each other, all this kind of stuff. Then we, as my friends and I, go back separately on our bus to the back to the resort. She messages me in the middle of the night or whatever. We're talking, and she's trying to convince me the next day to go to her apartment or whatever that's on the beach and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you can come to the resort, but there's no way in hell I'm going to this random apartment in the Dominican Republic off resort by myself.
Get kidnapped, maybe robbed.
Well, my thing yesterday, I said, I think I would have got robbed. And people were saying, no, it would have been far worse. Scott Parks was telling me this, Bink, the text line there. Some people were telling me there's a black market for kidneys, that I was going to get my kidneys cut out.
I think it just being a light robbing.
All I know is I didn't show up because I thought, I'm going to show up to this apartment. She might be there, but there's going to be two dudes with a gun in the back of the apartment as well, and I'm going to get forced to Venmo them $1,000 or something.
Has she messaged you since you got back?
Nope.
Yeah. I think that probably tells the story.
Well, that's what I think too. And listeners yesterday found her on Instagram. And yeah, I'll show you as well, Cody.
What's her handle, I guess?
There, I just sent it to you. I'm not gonna say it on the air.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But she was gonna rob you?
Well, I mean, maybe the thing seemed a little sketch.
I mean, she seems like
she's
a real person.
No, she's definitely a real. I mean, I talked to her. She's a real person. But my first inclination too, Cody,
is you're running a game.
Well, yeah, and then even at the club, as I said yesterday, at first I thought she might have been a prostitute.
Oh. I mean, that could also be the case. I don't know if that's what's going on.
But that was the story I told you yesterday. You hadn't heard the full story. But
Look, I wouldn't have recommended it. If you're asking for my personal advice, had we been at the resort, you'd be like, hey, do you think I can go to this person's place? I'm like, absolutely not.
Not in the Dominican Republic.
Because if she'll come to the resort, that's a very different energy. That's we're hanging out. This is a safe location. We know each other. I can't just be going off book. Now, middle of the day.
That's what it would have been, middle of the day. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
You mean
it's a 15-minute Uber ride. Nope. She could have come, as I said, she could have come to the resort. And that probably would have been okay. Then I would have known if she was real, or setting something up. No,
too risky.
Once she knew I was out of the country, nothing. I unfollowed her this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's no reason. I mean, what's the point?
Yeah, I guess not much of one. In fairness, I think that you probably handled it well. Were the people with you trying to convince you to meet her?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was like, was somebody
one of my friends
giving horrible advice?
One of my friends, for a brief second, was talking out the situation.
Like, is there a universe in which this isn't?
We all agreed that, no, if she comes to the resort, we're all here. Come meet us at the beach, and we'll just go from there. Sure.
Yeah, safety in numbers.
But the way the resorts, and I don't know, maybe this is the case in Cancun and other places too. It's like there's like a checkpoint to get into, to even get into the road down towards for security reasons. You know, the resorts are a nice area, but the rest
you can't invite a guest.
I guess not.
Oh,
I guess not.
Tough.
Someone says you guys should make a Venn diagram pros and con list for going versus ignoring. Well,
the only
con, death, robbery.
Literally, the only pro is maybe sex. And I want to add the maybe. I want to add the maybe part.
Well, that would have been the only reason.
That's literally the only pro. How much does that outweigh? That would have been all the other cons.
That's been the only reason I would have gone. Obviously, someone says Gold. You might have gotten kidnapped or robbed. You also could have gotten laid. LOL. Yeah, not worth it. Not that desperate. I'm not that desperate. Anyway, that was the story, Cody.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're alive.
Yeah.
And weren't kidnapped.
Someone says share the handle. I already messaged some of you yesterday, her handle. I'm not doing that again. Somebody messaged her and said, how often do you kidnap Americans? I was like, oh gosh. I don't think she responded to that person.
That's just rude. Yeah, I mean, because if she's a regular person, if it just turns out she was a nice person inviting Alex to a nice time, maybe don't send her stuff like that.
You're being way too.
I'm just saying you don't have to DM her and send that stuff.
I don't think someone should have DM'd her.
On the 5% chance, she's just a regular person who's inviting Alex to come hang out at the beach.
Someone said her handle is Kidney Stealer 2026.
I don't think it was going to be that. I think it was just going to be robbery. I think you're going to take your kidney.
Somebody sent me a whole article. Somebody sent me a whole article that there's like this black market for like organs and stuff down there. Anyway, up next. How do we view the windows for some other teams in the AFC? And there's a bunch of layoffs going on right now at ESPN, including one that happened in the middle of a show. We'll dive into that next.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel's giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel's the home of home runs. Perhaps you want to put in a bet today that Jack Caglione will find a way to hit another home run, or maybe Salvi will tie George Brett's home run record. You can do that over at FanDuel. So are you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local to opt in for daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB and 96.5 The Fan. 21 President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Joint pain's awful when you're the person fighting through it, but I'm betting you aren't the only one affected by it. Maybe you love someone who struggles with joint pain, and you see it. You see what they don't say. You see what they've slowly stopped doing. It's July, and the days are long, and the light hangs around, and you want to be outside moving, playing, and living. But instead, you're sitting it out. Let's get your life back at QC Kinetics. That's what they do every single day. People who are stuck in that cycle of pain in their hips, knees, shoulders, and backs are finally stepping out of it with QC Kinetics. They offer regenerative treatments done right in the office. No surgery, no long recovery, and no putting your life on hold. Just real relief. So it's time for you to go see my friends over at QC Kinetics and get that free consultation. Call them at 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Located off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done, fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size, fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is Michael Waka from the Kansas City Royals, and you're listening to 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. We'll get to the trash of the day. Yesterday, I warned you guys that it was a painful trash of the day about the woman sharpening her teeth so she could bite her partners off. Today, it's just a gross one. That also goes in the sexual route.
Okay.
Warning, disclaimer, trash of the day.
Warning for 20 minutes from now. You're not going to cover the viral raccoon? Have you guys been?
I haven't seen this. No. What's a viral raccoon?
So it's got like spina bifida or something. There's like a raccoon with like a shortened spine.
Okay.
That went viral because a lady found it. Its name is Jimothy.
Who named it?
The person who originally made the viral video about it. It is a ludicrous looking thing, but it's become a pop.
I haven't seen this.
It's kind of like Mudang. It became a pop culture icon pretty quickly.
All right, no, I'm not familiar.
If you search Jimothy, you'll see this freakazoid raccoon.
Okay, I will check that out.
It was that or we did the bison one.
Well, that and then I heard about the guy stuck in the porta potty.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was a Kansas City one.
I know.
The rare exclusive local
right
trash
in town.
Yeah.
Not proud of that one.
No.
That's something that has to happen in Florida normally.
You'd think.
Not in Kansas City. Come on,
and
what are we doing?
Hear, if you listen to the audio, you can hear how frustrated the fire department is with the guy.
Well, they had no interest in dealing with this guy.
They're like, I can't move you, idiot. And you're like, you're the idiot.
Yeah,
you're stuck in the porta potty. How am I the idiot?
Right.
Which is a great.
You went in this thing for a Mountain Dew. Naked in a porta potty. They had to hose his ass off.
Awful.
Anyway, so we'll get to the trash of the day in a little bit. Let's talk about the AFC as we do approach training camp. Everybody's going to get going here next week. We're going to be in St. Joe on Monday, our first show, broadcasting live. The only station broadcasting from camp from 10 to 2 starting Monday. The window for teams in the AFC, we don't need to get into the debate on how many teams going into the season that you necessarily think are better or not better than the Chiefs, but the windows, teams that have the pressure to win now versus, all right, no, they, look at their roster, the personnel that's been there for a while, has their coach been there for a while. How do you view the windows for a team like Baltimore, for example, or a team like Buffalo? Those are two teams that have brand new head coaches. Jesse Minter comes over as the DC from the Chargers. He's now the head coach, as we all know, in Baltimore. You know that Joe Brady gets promoted from Buffalo's OC to now head coach. So established quarterbacks, two organizations that have not gotten over the hump, one quarterback that has performed pretty well in the postseason, the other has had struggles in the postseason, but neither has gotten past an AFC title game. Is the window wide open still, or is it shrinking? I think for the Ravens, because of Lamar Jackson's style of play, this is not me saying he can't throw the ball. He's a way better passer than everybody ever gave him credit for. But his style of play, meaning he's more susceptible to injury because of his running ability, is the window shorter for him? I think it is.
So, funny enough, of the main contenders in the AFC, I think the Bills and Ravens got 2 years, and then they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Because the Bills might have missed their best winning window because they had all those defenses and better rosters. And they will also, and I pointed this out, everybody's body fails at the amount you run, even like Josh Allen. So it's a bigger risk for Lamar Jackson because of his frame. It is a problem for Josh Allen, too. And now they're on another coach. Both of them are on a new coach, and their defenses and their rosters in a position where 2 years. That's two of the things. Bengals roster's window is only as long as Jamar Chase is a Bengal. And really only while he's elite. Because they've never been able to fix the rest of the roster or solve the rest of those problems. So their window is probably 2 or 3 years, too.
Really, Chase is 26, so I'd say at least 3 years.
The dominant window of Jamar Chase is how I view their window. And maybe they could reopen it. But the Bills and the Ravens, the Bills one felt like it closed. And they're going to need a couple of years to resort. And by then, I'm not sure Josh Allen's body will be the same. I'm only giving them the 2-year window because of Josh Allen. If he was slightly worse, I would be ticking down his marker pretty significantly. We know, we don't want to get into the NFC teams right now, but it's like on the AFC side, it's like a couple years for all of them. And then the rest of these rosters should probably start catching up, and maybe already have in a lot of ways.
Well, in fairness, I think we got spoiled here in Kansas City because they were going to 5 Super Bowls and 3 in a row at one point. And other than the Patriots, nobody has that kind of window. We're mentioning here and saying, Baltimore or Cincinnati has 2 years or 3 years. That's the story of the NFL. I mean, the Chiefs and the Patriots are the exceptions. Nobody usually has a 7-year window or a 6-year window. Yes, you have those top-tier quarterbacks. You would like to think that's your window, but that's just not really how the NFL has operated in most cases. There's rare exceptions to that. I think the Chiefs are one of them. But suggesting that, hey, they only have 2 more years left, that's a lot of teams once their quarterback is out of the rookie contract and once their quarterback has not been able to get over the hump. It's not like suddenly now that the window extends for 6 more years. That's just not usually how it goes unless you have one of the really, really special future Hall of Fame type quarterbacks. And look, Lamar Jackson will one day be in the Hall of Fame, even if he never gets to a Super Bowl. He's got 2 MVPs already. He will be a Hall of Famer. Josh Allen will end up being a Hall of Famer one day. Patrick Mahomes obviously will be a Hall of Famer.
Do you think the Broncos or the Patriots windows are longer than the Bills Ravens?
Ooh, I'll go with the Patriots only because
they got the rookie quarterback rookie deal thing working their favor.
I'll only say the Patriots because I think Drake May is better than Bo Nix.
Yeah, I do too.
Right now,
he's an actual MVP competitor.
The Broncos, their defense is not going to be this dominant for 4 more years. I think they got another year or 2 of this defense being this good, one of the best, if not the best in football. Good. After that, if the defense goes back to average, they're stuck with an average quarterback.
I also think that their defense is already not going to be as good as it was last year. They lost more.
Still think it'll be top 5.
Yeah,
I guess I think it'll be
top 10.
The Cooper thing's the question. We don't know if he's getting suspended by the NFL.
Drew, do you view the windows different than we do? I felt like you were getting ready to chime in. I didn't want you to not have a chance to defend or discuss one of the other teams.
No, I think so. The only question I have for you is: so you're saying as long as Jamar Chase is a Bengal, correct? Not prime Jamar Chase? I think those are two different things.
Both. Just as long as Jamar Chase is as good as he is now, which I think is probably 2 or 3 more years. As good as he is, he's got 2 or 3 more years of just dominating.
Because the only reason I was looking is just in terms of what a guy, I guess most recently I looked up Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams was a 1,000+ yard receiver up until he was 32. So if you think that Jamar Chase is capable of being that go-to guy like a Devontae Adams, then it might be more than 3 years. Like how Devontae Adams went till he was 32. So that was the only, because I agree that I think it's only a couple. It might be more for Josh Allen just because to this point he's been healthy. So I would say maybe 3 to 4 maybe for Josh Allen. Where Lamar I would agree with 2 for sure, just because of he's already suffered some of the wear and tear stuff in the frame and all that other stuff that goes into Lamar Jackson. And I agree with you guys. I think Drake May. It makes sense that the Patriots would be the other team. If you were to say, well, what's the other team that could be there? Probably the Patriots. maybe Houston if C.J. Stroud recaptures that form, but that's such a big if that because if you were to tell me C.J. Stroud even maybe didn't reach what he was in his rookie season, but got back to being a 4,000-yard plus passer, that will have said I think he recaptured that form where I would insert Houston into that conversation as well. But I think New England is the other team on the outside that feels like the closest just because of the quarterback situation.
New England's feels the second longest in the AFC besides the Chiefs to me. Chiefs gets infinite grace, in my opinion, because just the sheer amount of winning they did is unlike any other team's going to do. So they're going to be way ahead. I would dead serious put the Patriots window as the second longest. Bills third. I don't know, tied for probably Ravens. I think that we have completely and continue to, and I don't understand because we don't talk about it as the swing that it is. Changing coaches for the Ravens or Bills typically only goes one of two ways. And it's 50-50, and we're talking about it like it's more like an 80% chance it'll succeed. 50% of the time, it blows up in their face. The complete changing of the coach fails miserably, and it turns out Minter just doesn't have it. I just want to remind people that even guys like Nathaniel Hackett were perceived geniuses
I think the
before
Bills
they
are more
got
risk
the
of what
job.
you're talking about, actually.
Joe Brady is way more of a question mark. I agree with you, Drew. I think he's more of a question mark than Jesse Minter. My thing on the weekends, the show I do on the weekends, one of the guys that is behind the scenes on that show is a Baltimore guy, and they're thrilled that Harbaugh's gone on. And I've been saying, hey, you guys, be careful what you wish for. I'm not saying it wasn't time to move on as well because Harbaugh reached a point he couldn't get over the hump. But this idea that like Jesse Minter's going to come in and you guys are going to finally reach the Super Bowl, like be careful what you wish for. John Harbaugh still has been one of the best coaches in the NFL in the last 15 or 20 years. To now think Jesse Minter is going to walk in that door and now the Ravens are just going to finally get past Buffalo or Kansas City or eventually Cincinnati if they get themselves back to the postseason. Like that is no sure thing. It can always be worse. I think I'm not suggesting that the Ravens are going to stink, but this idea that he's just going to automatically do better than Harbaugh, I think is a bit rich.
It's just like, I mean, we went through this list not that long ago. Like 80% of the guys who were hired in the last coaching cycle have already been fired. So like before you're like, yeah, they've all got the goods. Be careful. Because, like, I don't think the Colts are like, Steichen's the answer. Now, look, he's been fine. Like, I just go back 2 years, right? Here's the top head coaching candidates 2 years ago. Shane Steichen, it's been okay. D'Amico Ryan's been pretty good, right? So at least there's there. Kellen Moore didn't even get a job. Dan Quinn, they're already out on that in Washington. They don't even want him around anymore. And then there's Raheem Morris, who people largely think is an idiot, or Bill Callahan. This is an article from Sports Illustrated. Jonathan Gannon, who's already been fired. Like, some guys didn't get jobs. Some guys did get jobs. Some guys have already been fired. Gerard Mayo, already fired. Now, maybe that's partly because Vrabel was available, but Mayo's never going to get another job again, so he couldn't have been that good, right? He may never be a head coach ever again. So, like, that was his one chance, and it was only because he played for the Patriots, maybe. And so, like, before you just pencil in, oh, I like Jesse Minter because he seems smart. Yeah, he seems smart when he's not running the shop. Like, everyone seems smart when they're not the person in charge.
It does really feel like the next, I guess, outside of the Chiefs, the next 2 years will really reshape how we look at the AFC just in general because of if it is too...
This year feels like the swing year for me. Not even 2 years, just this year.
But so if the Bills, I think it's more too, just from the standpoint of, well, if Josh Allen's body, if he gets hurt this year in some way, shape, or form, he's just battling injuries throughout the year. Then the conversation 100% turns to, can he actually stay healthy enough for them to be good enough to have a chance just based on what they do and based on the surrounding pieces that are there, and they lose their defensive guy and Sean McDermott. Is that defense even going to be as good as what it can be? And then if Lamar is still dealing with stuff, then Lamar's prime is done. If Lamar is dealing with injury again, then I think people are going to say Lamar's prime is done. And he's just never going to get back to that MVP form. And if the Bengals miss the playoffs again, then they're going to change the coach, of course, where that lies what the questions regarding what the Bills and the Ravens are going through. You know, I feels like the next year or two are really going to change. Yeah, outside of the Chiefs being the one constant, are the Bills falling off? Are the Ravens falling off? I mean, do the Bengals have to go through a whole lot of stuff after basically going all in on what they've done with the roster?
Their guy misses the playoffs
this year.
They're starting over with a new coach.
But even with Kansas City, I mean, I think we all expect them to get back to the postseason. But if they don't, there's some real conversations about where the organization needs to head here from a coaching standpoint. It depends how ugly it is, right? Like, and what happens. There's so many different things that can happen in the season. But if it's anywhere near last year and nobody's expecting that, but if somehow that's what happened, well, then there's going to have to be changes, and really tough changes with people that have won a lot of things and accomplished a lot of things in this organization. So we'll see. Yeah, this is a fascinating year in the AFC. You know, going in, everybody feels like they're in the same boat. This is not a year where the Chiefs walk in and they're viewed clearly as the best team, but there's not a ton of teams that look like they're clearly the best team. The Chiefs, you can make a case, are they the second or third best? Maybe you want to make that case if you're optimistic. I can also make a case they're like the fifth or sixth best team. It's all over the place, and it's going to be fascinating. It's why we love the NFL, but this year in particular, you know, if Mahomes returns to form and this offense has it figured out again, then we're having a conversation about them being one of the top teams by the end of the year. But I don't know if we're going to get there.
Meanwhile, over at ESPN,
yeah,
they're
not
really
a good day
something.
today.
Like, one, we don't like it because we're in the industry and it goes through there. But the sheer number of names as a part of this ESPN NFL Network merger and now obviously subsequent layoffs as a part of it, it's starting to get up there. Tom Pelissero, one of the leading, I would say, NFL insiders, Cam Newton, Stephania Bell, Ryan Clark. Now, this is the part that gets me. How the hell do you fire a guy in the middle of his show?
That's what reportedly happened
Imagine
yesterday.
Speck coming in here at 11:30 and being like, hey, you don't have to finish the rest of the show. It's getting ready to come out that you're fired, so get out before you find out the wrong way.
Yeah, that's just wrong. Plain and simple. I don't care what.
That's messed up.
You know, especially in media, as you said, we're talking from that lens. But they're in the middle of a show to let go of somebody is just uncalled for. It's obviously, no kidding, unprofessional. But just it's absolutely unacceptable. But they are trying to claim on the other side that it was going to leak out and they didn't want him to find out elsewhere. Well, that means you guys
should have gotten on it.
You screwed up but you screwed up by letting it leak out to begin with. So yeah, they're having major layoffs today. Nobody likes to see anybody lose their job. No matter what your opinion is on Ryan Clark or anybody and their takes about the Chiefs or Joe Burrow, nobody wants to see somebody lose their job. Is he in a better spot than others because he played in the league? Yeah, financially and all that. There's some people that have been at ESPN for 20 years that are not on air that lost their job, and it's way more problematic for their family and their financial future, right? So I understand that. But nobody wants to see that, and it sucks anytime there's layoffs in the media industry. It's no secret. Like, there's been layoffs in the radio industry over the years. So, it's crappy day.
I guess part of where, like, things have really soured for me for the ESPN end is it's all turned into this content-driven machine that isn't about the actual shows. Like, they fired him and then still released a social media clip from the show with his take. What the hell? Like, come on. Like, and that's why, like, and we've joked about, like, the people whose names we are tired of hearing. Like, Les Ravitch and Stephania Bell and Ryan Clark and all these. It's not like it's going to bring in new names and fresh opinions and different. It's just more Pat McAfee. It's not like it's not like I get like a fresh perspective in a different voice. It's just I get more Stephen A. and more Pat McAfee. That's it. That's the only thing I get.
Like someone mentioned ESPN, died 10 years ago. Look, ESPN is not what it was 10 or 15 years ago. I'm with you.
But
I don't watch it 24/7 like I did when I was in junior high or high school. It's different. But there's still a lot of elements that look for live sporting events. I think SVP is still the best that's out there with SportsCenter and all that. I don't watch the first takes and the get ups of the world. One were on the air during some of that and already at the building, but. But we all remember the heyday of Around the Horn and PTI and those. So that part is the continued kind of unraveling of ESPN, what it was from our childhood, or depending on how old you are when you were just a young adult or whatever. That part of it's sad. But yeah, ESPN hasn't been the same for a very long time.
No, it hasn't. But it is just like firing someone in the middle of a job. That's just ice.
Ryan Clark yesterday.
That is.
He gave a take about the
cold.
Cowboys being Super Bowl champions, and 30 minutes later he was fired. Like, jeez.
But they shared that clip.
I know.
You know how messed up that is? You're still going to profit off my grave? You fired me. Don't share any more clips of me. I'm canned.
Yeah.
Like, Drew, don't send out a clip of me giving some take in the show if I get fired in 30 minutes.
If that happens, I am going to actually put a clip out of
now
me
he is
doing that. Now
he is.
Of only this clip.
Well,
like, just
I'm not
me
gonna,
saying, please don't.
It won't be this one.
Make it this one. That way, a last appeal for someone to just give me that trailer for $40,000 is a parting gift.
All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, so I warned you guys, like yesterday. I said yesterday's painful trash of the day. Today's nasty.
So if you're eating, wait a sec.
It's nasty. We go to Germany.
Okay.
Involves a prisoner in a lawsuit and a victory for the prisoner. So a prisoner has prevailed in an unusual legal dispute that has granted him permission to continue to mail letters to his fiance.
I think you should be able to mail letters to
well,
your
there's a catch with this whole
significant
thing.
other.
The reason why this went to court is the convicted drug dealer was serving a multi-year sentence at a correctional facility. He argued that the jail had stopped him from mailing letters to his fiance. The correspondence, the letters had, they were sperm coated.
Oh. The hell did you put on a letter for?
The inmate and his partner had been exchanging bodily fluids through the postal mail for an extended period of time.
Gross.
Prison officials halted the explicit correspondence after determining the fluid-covered letters presented a significant health hazard.
Seems fair.
Then he filed a lawsuit and he won. And so he can continue
So someone
to
still
mail
has to
the old sticky letters.
and you have to check every single thing that comes in for contraband. So some guy's job just got way worse.
According to German legal publication there, the prisoner maintained the prohibition, said it stifled his sexual fantasies and infringed upon his fundamental right to the free development of his personality. He even proposed a straightforward solution for the uncomfortable guards. He stated that if staff members felt repulsed while examining his mail, they could simply wear gloves.
That's not a solution.
He also contended that mailing bodily fluids was not a criminal offense. And the court determined there was no legal basis for the prison's disciplinary action because they disciplined him not only to.
That seems again. That doesn't. All of that makes sense.
That's ridiculous.
Until they're like, no, he can mail it.
Someone says, "Where are you?"
I quit my job. If I had to examine the letters and all of a sudden that was one of the things I had to examine, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm officially out. And look, I assume they wear gloves anyway, and the off chance there's like drugs or other things in the letters. It's not.
No.
It's all of it that bothers me.
Yeah. Someone says, "Where are you finding these gold?" I have my sites I go to in an aggregate site that compiles all the odd and weird news of the day. And I go there and I check it and I pick ones. And I asked you guys, I go, is this one too gross to use today? And Cody's response was, no, it's perfect.
I just said it was better than the other one. Now
Do you want to know what the other option was?
Stomach turning.
All right.
Yeah, what was the
Palate
other option?
cleanser then. Okay. Different
Palate
one.
cleanser. Someone's threatening to change the station.
All right.
Palate cleanser. Don't
All
leave.
right. We could have done the one that says a man dressed as a woman was arrested for stealing $650 worth of body wash.
What store?
How much body wash is that?
A Florida man's facing a new charge after deputies say he helped clean out a Walgreens shelf of body wash. Polk County said 3 suspects walked in the store. 1 distracted the clerk, while the other 2 filled bags with containers of body wash. The trio left without paying, taking nearly $650 worth of merchandise. Surveillance video, they quickly recognized the 47-year-old from his lengthy arrest record and his habit of dressing as a woman. He was already in the county jail on an unrelated warrant. He now faces added charge of petty theft with prior convictions. His record already includes 27 felonies and 17 misdemeanor convictions, mostly for theft, and more than 11 years in state prison. Yeah.
I guess $650. Do you think he got like 40 bottles of cheap or 10 bottles of expensive?
Have you tried to buy like that kind of stuff at a drugstore? It's way overpriced.
No.
Like, exactly, you don't buy it there because it's overpriced. You go and you get body wash that's normally $5. It's like $11.
But even if it's $11, you're talking about,
he went
how many bottles that still takes,
he went and got
though?
like 50 bottles of Dove or something like that.
And look, I don't know how it works, but at a CVS, can you even get one of those, like, ludicrously expensive, like, can I get Dior body wash that costs like $100 a bottle there?
I don't know, maybe so.
And it's not behind a cabinet? Can't so much as buy a condom or a tampon or anything behind a locked cabinet. I can just buy $100 Dior body wash?
It depends on where. You and I have been, like when we were in Pittsburgh, remember we went in downtown Pittsburgh, we went to that CVS to grab something.
Yeah.
And just to get a razor, I had to have them unlock the cage. So it just depends on where you're at. Someone says the person just didn't want the long Walgreens receipt. That's CVS that has the long receipts. CVS, that if you bought $650 worth of body wash at CVS, that receipt be printed for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I almost never buy anything there except for prescription medication.
Except for drugs.
Yeah, unless I'm there to. And even so, not the base ones. I don't go there to buy ibuprofen. It's overpriced there too.
I get my allergy medicine there sometimes.
You're going to Walgreens for the good stuff, Cody.
I'm only going there to go to the pharmacy counter.
Okay.
Someone says I'm going to start writing fan mail to you guys. Will it be open and read on air?
No.
Not anymore. Ever.
No.
Ever.
It will not even be investigated. It'll just be thrown out.
It goes to somebody else before it gets to us, thank goodness. It does.
Yeah. It crosses a desk.
There's more people that check it out before it gets to us.
Not as well as they're checking it out at the prison, though.
Nope.
I think mostly just comes upstairs with your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we got the T-shirt and all that stuff from Ashley and her ex-boyfriend for the garage sale.
That's true. Yeah.
I still opened the box. I still took the risk.
I'm going to start using gloves when I open anything.
Smart.
Moving forward.
Unless it's from a trusted listener.
Yeah.
Even then. Not after this.
Yeah.
At least for a couple weeks.
All right, up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk more about the Chiefs season and where they will enter when we get to week 1 and the hierarchy of the NFL. Plus, Cody thinks people need to stop pretending something's going to happen this year. We'll get to that next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
July is about independence, so you don't want to wait around for your career to start, and that's where Centric comes in. Aspiring IT pros are building job-ready IT skills with hands-on training and real employer connections across Kansas City.
I think what we tell you is don't just hope the dream job's coming. Get into a career. That's what they can do for you over at Centric. And the as little as 4 months part of it's got to be appealing at that point because Centric helps you build the skills that move you forward and help you get in a career that has growth, actual growth, moving forward so you can continue that career down the road.
Yeah, talk to our friend Russ Mondry. He will walk you through the entire process. Find out, look, is it a good fit or not? And what are your goals moving forward? You can also just go to Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com.
It is out of here.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the 7th inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or BPH could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
When your AC starts breaking down, AB May is here to help your house feel like a home again. Serving Kansas City for over 65 years, AB May handles it all from AC repairs and upgrades to indoor air quality. When it comes to your home, solved is our standard. And AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Trusted by generations. Call AB May at 913-383-2222 or visit abmay.com today.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Baseball fans, do you have a feeling on who's going yard today? Who's going to hit a home run? Well, don't just sit on that feeling. FanDuel wants you to call your shot every day with daily dingers. All you have to do is make your pick on who's hitting a home run, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at bigger winnings. Now when your favorite slugger hits that walk-off home run, you can feel like a winner as well. Daily Dingers on FanDuel is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the baseball season, and that's why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So are you ready to play your game? Check out Daily Dingers on FanDuel.com/local. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local to make your free pick on who you think is going yard today. Big hits mean even bigger winners on FanDuel. Remember, FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
One contractor, all things parking lot. That's who they are over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, a locally owned and operated company who is ready to take on that project for you, whether it be commercial paving services, asphalt services, or any large-scale project. The first thing a client sees about your business is the parking lot, and Gann Asphalt and Concrete is ready to make sure it gives the right first impression. Trust a locally owned and operated company who is ready to do that work for you. Give them a call, 816-688-3512, or check them out at GannAsphalt.com.
Get a $20 gift card after rebate with the purchase of a select AC Pro ready-to-use refrigerant kit at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Odyssey Sports is presented by ZipRecruiter. Find out why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/team.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Even on weekends and holidays, Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric shows up. Expect reliable HVAC plumbing or electric service. Plus, enjoy $500 off a new HVAC system this summer. Schedule your free consultation at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Josh Simmons from the Kansas City Chiefs, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold. You guys can interact with us on the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. We'll get back into Salvador Perez chasing history in the noon hour. Also check in on SEC Media Days. Some interesting comments from Eli Drinkwitz yesterday. He can't help himself. So we'll get to that. Let's talk a little Chiefs football, though, and how the Chiefs will enter this season and, frankly, enter training camp next week.
Well, a lot of this is, and I think you guys talked a little bit about, like, camp starts on Friday. I think report day's on Friday. You and I will be out there starting next Monday. And I think for fans, it's a little bit different because they still feel braggadocious, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that because you are still the gold standard of NFL franchises, certainly from a winning perspective, and certainly right now. One down season does not change the they went to the Super Bowl 5 times in 7 years, so 5 times in 8 years, if you want to go ahead and toss in last year as well. I do think the Chiefs players themselves, though, have to enter the season acting like they are no longer at the top of the mountaintop and instead approaching the season with a, yeah, we're not better than you, but we're going to try to prove that we're better than you mentality. This is the first time in forever that at least you are not the only target on someone's back. Maybe you're of a group of teams that are targeted by others and teams that people view as a threat, but you're in the wash. And if you get to be in the wash, you don't get to pretend like, oh, we're better than you and we can sleepwalk through some game. You got to treat the season like you got to prove that you're still who you used to be. Even after 1 year. That's how it works in the NFL. You have to immediately prove it again to everybody, is my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Bing kind of said something similar, yesterday about that very thing. I think also, even if you're Travis Kelce, even if you're Patrick Mahomes, while you have already accomplished what you've accomplished in your careers, Hall of Famers, all of that, because of last year, nope, this is where we get into these debates, with other people in other cities or sometimes even with Drew. Nobody cares what happened in 2022. Nobody cares what happened in 2024 anymore in the NFL. No. Like that. Like we as fans can always hold on to that, and for the rest of our lives, we're going to remember what happened those seasons and the Super Bowl appearances and the Super Bowl wins. But in the NFL, and certainly with just the nature of what have you done for me lately, league, both from media perspective and other fans, nobody cares what happened 2 years ago. So you have to go out there, especially when you're not coming off a Super Bowl appearance, and do it. Some people would even make the case they don't care that you won a Super Bowl the year before. Well, nobody sure as heck cares if you won one 3 years ago.
Yeah, nobody cares Minnesota won 14 games 2 years ago, or the Commanders won
it doesn't matter.
12 games 2 years ago, or that the Bucs won the division. I'm going back just 2 years, right? Those things don't matter.
But they do have the, you look at the motivation part of it to prove that, hey, last year was an outlier. Last year was a disaster. We are not all of a sudden just going to be a random team in the NFL. We still believe we have a chance to be a legitimate contender and get back to a Super Bowl. That of course is going to be some of the mindset. They hope to be in LA in February playing for a Super Bowl.
I guess part of this is, how do you convince the players who weren't a part of those or were but are still young to be as hungry as they once were? It's harder for probably the older guys, but it shouldn't be hard for Xavier Worthy or Noel Williams or the guys who actually haven't won a Super Bowl. Now, Xavier Worthy did go to one. Mm-hmm. Ken Walker obviously won one last year, but for a different team. They still got plenty of Super Bowl winners on the team. Bolton, Drew Tranquill,
sure.
Mahomes, Kelce, Jones. The list is still pretty long of Super Bowl winning players, and I feel like there's still going to be convincing a team with that much playoff experience and that much winning to be hungry and not just be like, hey, I don't want them going into the season saying we are one of the best teams. And I know this is a slight difference. I want them to just feel like, hey, they don't think we are. It's our job to prove it. Not that we should feel that way. It's our job to prove that that's what we're working towards, or whatever it's got to be during camp.
You want them to almost create a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. Well, not even I don't want them to be they're disrespecting us.
I don't think that's
I want them to say, hey, we got to
angle.
prove to them that we can still prove to ourselves, right? Taking that energy in a different facet, I guess, rather than they've been able to go in every single year for the last 5 years and know they were the bully. Every year they just walk in we know we're bigger and badder than you. There's no question about it. You know it. We know it. It's fine. Great. That just can't be
a 6-win
that can't be the
season.
Mode going into the season.
A 6-win season, I think, humbles the hell out of you. So, I think a 6-win season, you want to prove to people that that's not who you are. But also, I don't know how you walk into training camp and thinking you're necessarily better than everybody else. Now, you should have the mindset that hey, last year wasn't us. We know we're better than that. We know that we can compete to win this division, which is their first step. And then you go from there. So I think it's about my guess is, this is not, you're not going to hear many people, predicting, Super Bowl appearances or anything like that around Kansas City this particular year. But we all saw the schedule. We know it's soft early and then it gets very difficult late, and they have to make a lot of hay early, and they have to probably start 5-0, 4-1. Based on the schedule that they have. And at that point in time, there will be people that will jump on and say, hey, look out. But I still think we won't really know about
not until they get to that Bills
until they get to the stretch where it's New England, it's Buffalo, it's Cincinnati, it's LA.
Yeah.
That's when you'll really know if they're ready once again to be back to a true, hey, go win a Super Bowl season versus I just think starting 4-1 or 5-0 is, to me, is like what has to happen for them to make the playoffs, Cody. I really believe that this year. As crazy as that might sound in the past, this is not I don't believe they have the team and the schedule in their favor as they had in the past where, okay, they can start 2-2 and they'll figure it out.
Who's their opening 4 and 5?
What's that?
Who's their opening 4 and 5?
Denver week 1. Then they've got the Colts. Also in that mix, I believe, is the Dolphins.
Vegas and the Chargers.
Okay.
Those are their first 5 games.
Yeah.
So 3 divisional.
And out of the first 10, they get the Cardinals, the Dolphins, and the Jets.
Yeah. In the first, because they get the Falcons, Jets, and Cardinals in the first 11. First 10 games, first 11 weeks.
They need to
they
get
got the
8 out of those at least.
I mean, I think they got to get off to a really good start. Because there's a real scenario, like it's going to be interesting how we talk about it. And it also depends, how they look, right? If suddenly, Ashton Gelati looks dominant at it, okay, well, then the conversation's different. But if they're winning, but there's still clearly some of the issues and questions we had, but they're winning because of the competition, we're not going to really know until they play some tougher teams. Nobody's going to
how good they are.
Yeah, look, by the way, nobody's going to say it's bad to win football games. But my point will be, I will be very concerned if this team were to struggle in the first 5 weeks because I don't think they're just going to suddenly figure it out when they're suddenly playing the Rams and Buffalo and some of these teams late in the year. So, yeah, I'm expecting them to get off to a quick start. Otherwise, we need to talk about them not making the playoffs.
Well, and more than fair. They start 6-4, and it's going to be that ain't good enough because now you get Buffalo, Los Angeles, at 3 in a row. At Buffalo, at Los Angeles, at Cincinnati versus New England 4 in a row. Pass. It'll be too late by then. They'll have to be at least 7-3. But also,
they could have 7 wins, and then in the final 8 weeks, in the final 8 weeks, they only win 3 games, and they end up,
still making it though,
still making the playoffs. But we're like, okay.
This is why the importance of showing everybody. I think there is a real advantage of people being afraid of you. I think they walk into a game playing more tense, not playing right, doing something out of character. When they walk into a game and they actually fear you. I think part of what happened to the Chiefs last year is at some point they looked human, and then even the Jags were comfortable with them, be like, meh, we can actually get these guys. They looked human enough for the first 5 to 10 weeks that people didn't fear them the same way going into the matchup. They didn't treat it like a team or an effort that they needed to walk into with a proper amount of fear in their heart. The Chiefs, for those first 10 weeks, Gold, it's about that. It's about actually making think Buffalo, when they're coming to your town, they might get you. They might get you, Los Angeles. Proper fear. Now, but you can't just say, you can't just use your old accomplishments to strike that fear. You have to show them immediately. And that's the other part. And then there's this other stuff, with the beginning of the season, where I am fascinated to see how they handle it because they're going to face only one really good defense in the first 5 games. Maybe the Chargers are slightly improved. Miami and the Chargers in Vegas, they don't have good units. Seattle does, and Denver again in 7 and 8. But in those first 8 games, they'll face 3 really good defenses because Denver twice and Seattle. And I think everybody assumes they're going to protect Patrick Mahomes during that time. And I'll be honest with you, he's going to throw it 35 times a game, 40 times a game. They're going to throw it as much as they do. Ken Walker's appearance on this team will not change the way they play offense. It will only change the effectiveness of the running game, which is important, but I just think this notion of people thinking they're going to turn to I don't even think it's going to change their scheme all that much.
I mean, if you're just saying that the actual run-pass breakdown's not changing, fine, but it'll absolutely change the offense. If you're just saying from how many rush attempts,
how often they run versus pass.
That's fair. I'm with you there.
No, we can transform the offense if they can actually run the ball because teams have to get further away from the line of scrimmage. If anything, I'm not even kidding. If anything, I think that they'll finish higher this season in pass percentage than they did last year. And that sounds crazy because Mahomes is coming off of a very serious knee injury, and they signed the most expensive running back in free agency. But if at any point this season, teams actually back off of the line of scrimmage, well, then they're going to unload.
Yeah, and that requires...
Mahomes is going to throw even more in that scenario.
But again, that requires Ken Walker being who we think he is. It requires this offensive line, for the first time in a couple of years, being effective in run game.
Yeah. But it's so hard.
How much is it the running back?
Chicken or egg?
I think
it's tough.
I think a lot of it was Isaiah Pacheco not being good the last year or two, but we're going to really learn even more about the run scheme this year. If somehow Ken Walker struggles or just is unimpressive, then Andy Heck and this entire run scheme is a disaster. To me, the offensive line, personnel-wise, we might have a question with Jalen Moore at right tackle, but this offensive line is plenty talented enough to get the damn job done in the run game.
Josh Simmons did rank almost dead last in grade though in run.
He also played 8 games, so small sample
I know,
size.
But still, the fact that he was that bad.
But my point is like the scheme. Like they have enough talent on the interior. I still think even with Josh Simmons, but no question the interior.
There's no reason they shouldn't at least be middle of the road. At least.
Yes. I mean, absolutely.
Nobody had more negative runs, I think, than the Chiefs last year. And then to couple that with 0 10-yard runs. It's like the worst.
Yeah, there was no
They had the
explosive
worst
runs at
running
all.
game in the NFL last year. Like, Ken Walker can only improve it. Like, maybe he doesn't make it as good as we think. I'm telling you right now, that was bottom basement as it can get. They were the worst run team in the NFL, legitimately. So, like, they can't get worse than that. Like, they have to improve in some capacity. Hell, they can't even be that bad. It's not possible.
And I think that's where Eric Bieniemy is a big bonus now as your OC. There might be other areas where you have a question, but we all know as a running back coach, which he's now the OC again, but just his knowledge of the run game, you're also just getting better coaching in that aspect. As much as we've talked about the wide receiver coach change with O'Shea and getting better coaching, DeMarco Murray and Eric Bieniemy with that running back group, to me, you're also just getting better in that regard, too.
I do wonder, like, the only question I have about Ken Walker is there more? Not that, because I'll just take what he has been. He's been in the league 4 years. He was a high draft pick for a running back, right? I mean, for a running back, that's a high pick that a team used on him. But he's been a 1,000-yard rusher twice, but just over 1,000. He's had 1,200, 1,300, and 1,164 from scrimmage. And then one season he was hurt, he only had 872, but he was just as effective. He just played less, in the yards per game and all that other stuff. He's been pretty good. With more touches, would the production stay the same? Because per touch, he's as effective as Kyren Williams. People probably wouldn't think that because we all assume Kyren Williams is a top 5 to 7 back in the NFL because of the offense he's in. The question I have is, will they use him that much or the amount he's been used in Seattle? Will he be like a 60-40 guy or does he go to 70-30?
I think, my prediction would be 70-30. I think they're still very much unproven behind Kenneth Walker in the Chiefs running back.
It's just Emmett Johnson.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
He might be 70-30, but does that mean
oft-injured running back?
He might be 70-30, but compared to last season, where do the touches go? Because if they're throwing the ball around as much as you might think, Cody, then that means Kenneth Walker probably isn't getting the ball too much more than he was in Seattle, even with the split.
219, 221 in his 3 full seasons.
In terms of just carries or
carries?
Okay.
Catches, all very similar. 27, 46 actually 2 years ago, and 31. So like in the 30s. So total touches, you're talking 250 to 260 on average.
In Seattle, of course, different offense, but also you had Zach Charbonnet there. The Chiefs do not look. I'd love for Emmett Johnson to develop into somebody, but right now the Chiefs don't have a 1-2 punch for the way Seattle did with Charbonnet.
They seems to think so with DeMercado, but until that guy's actually on a football field playing more than 2 consecutive weeks, I'm not buying it.
But, Charbonnet and Ken Walker, those were a little more proven. Again, Emmett Johnson can develop into something. We'll see. DeMercado could surprise people. Fine. I'm talking about like known commodity stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have much of a guy proven volume behind Ken Walker.
When's the last time you think somebody even got the amount of... Did Pacheco get the amount of touches? Let's call it 250 to 260. That's on the low end of what every year total touches Ken Walker's gotten in a full healthy season. I looked it up, by the way. 330 is the number of touches that Kareem Hunt got his rookie season in Kansas City, which is
Pacheco, last year's a
insane.
bad example, but his second year, so first full year as a starter, he only played in 14 games for Pacheco. He had 205 carries and 44 receptions.
That's about what Kenneth Walker's been
Last
averaging.
year, we all know, he played in 13 games, 118 carries, and 19 receptions.
So I wonder, I just wonder if, he might get the 70-30 bulk load, but based on how the Chiefs have used the running backs, does it still equate out to roughly a similar amount of usage just based on the way that the Chiefs do their offense compared to the way that Seattle did their offense?
I mean, look, I think that Kenneth Walker will get a nearly identical number of touches he got in Seattle as he got in Kansas City. I think it's going to be more 60-40. I just don't think they're going to come out passing. I think it is easy. I think it is how about this? I think it's a lazy narrative to be like, Mahomes is coming off an injury.
Yeah, but 60-40, we're not talking about passing. When someone says how many touches is he going to get 60-40, I thought we were talking about compared to the other backs in the backfield.
I'm agreeing to that. But I meant but I was just referencing back to the original point, which was They're not going to be a 50. This would be a heavy run team in the NFL. They're not going to pass at 55%, run at 45%. Just because Patrick Mahomes is coming off the injury. Yeah. That to me is a lazy narrative and not something Andy Reid would ever do. We pointed out the stat earlier in the show. The first game back for Donovan McNabb, who's an even, I don't know, like maybe used his legs even more as much as Patrick Mahomes did. He threw 33 times his first game back coming off an ACL. The first 4 plays were a pass. Andy still will, and they should. This goes back to Bink was making Drew and I feel like we were crazy last week. One of Bink's stances that he was hoping that they would create a package for, and you might agree, I don't know, that they would create a package for like Justin Fields where like Mahomes comes off the field and they run him and I'm like, that's my nightmare. I don't want Justin Fields to play a snap.
Or they have Mahomes lined up as like a wide receiver and do like a reverse or something like that and Mahomes throws it.
He's like, if they're both on the field, you don't know who's starting. I'm like, I don't need that. Those are the kind of plays I don't need post-injury. I don't need some nonsense where he's standing up there where some corner can decide to check his ass for just no reason. No thanks. I don't need any of that, and I don't need plays where Patrick Mahomes isn't on the field. This goes back to the passing thing. The best offense is Mahomes has the ball. Let's just face the reality. A better offense than just 3rd and 2, and we call a run play that we understand versus we call no play at all, but Patrick Mahomes is still the quarterback. The play is still better. We're just Mahomes is the quarterback, and maybe he'll figure out who to throw it to.
I mean, that goes back to the conversation we just had 5 minutes ago, which is if you want them to have the persona of we are going to strike fear into everybody that we play, Patrick Mahomes is going to have to it's going to have to be with Patrick Mahomes more than it is Kenneth Walker running it.
I do wonder how much the throwing I mentioned, I don't know how much Mahomes is going to run this year. If I said over under 299.5 rushing yards, what would you take?
Oh, man. I'd have to go look at what he's done in the past.
More than that.
I want to say more than that. I want to say over.
I gave you under. Well, last year he ran.
How low are you? Let me see.
He ran more than he ever did last year. I'll give you the numbers right now. Here are Patrick Mahomes' rushing totals per season. He had 315 last year. That's an injury-shortened season. 392, 401, 435, 436, 390, 319, and 383. So I'm essentially shaving 80 to 100 yards off of a typical Mahomes season for his annual number, 299.5. He typically, on average, is around a 400-yard rusher.
I think he gets handy. I would say over. But right at 300.
I'll go under. Heck, the year he won MVP, his first MVP, he was at 272. I'll go under.
Oh, I was looking at Tim's. I was looking at the wrong numbers. Damn it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, hold on.
There was none that were over. There was none that you said were over.
I scrolled too low. I scrolled too low. I had the numbers wrong. You're right. In his season 292, 422 last year, 307, 389, 350.
I'll go.
He's actually averaged about a 350-yard rusher in his NFL career, not 400, Drew. But he's right in that range. You take under 299.5.
I'll go under. Yeah.
What if I said 249.5?
Over. If it was 275, I'd say over.
I'm just curious. I didn't know. I wanted to know kind of where the. So you don't think he's going to be way below his season totals on average for rushing yards, but somewhere slightly below
enough to where it's one of his lower totals of his career.
The first time though that he runs, every Chiefs fan will have their heart will be on their throat essentially.
Well, his heart will be in his.
The first, that would be the only reason. Bink and I were talking about this yesterday. I don't think he should play in the preseason. The only argument is the thing that Mahomes says.
Hit out of the way.
He likes to get that first hit out of the way because the first time he gets hit low. Oh my gosh, we're all gonna freak out.
I would not play him in the preseason.
I would not either. I'm with you, Drew. I don't think you should. But will Mahomes ask to play a snap or series?
Of course, he'll ask.
I don't know if it's fireable, but playing him in a preseason game is neglectful.
If he got hurt, it would definitely
someone
be on the radar.
Someone says you want to baby him. No, it's the preseason.
So he can play week 1.
And also saying that he's only going to have 299 rushing yards, not 380, has nothing to do with babying.
Joe Burrow didn't.
That's just whether or not he's going to take off and run as early in the season on his own. The Chiefs are not doing QB sneaks, so it's always for the most part it's always going to be Mahomes improvising. The question is, in the first month of the season, is he more likely to, when he's running towards the sideline, to step out of bounds, to throw it, or do what he's done in his entire career when he's healthy, which is do a little shimmy and go up for another 8 yards or whatever? I don't know if we're seeing the shimmy in week 1. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
I don't know.
I hope I don't.
I mean, I hope I do. I hope I do.
Part of him, I don't know. I think part of him, maybe not the first one, but I think early on, in terms of the first few runs he has, I don't think he'll be able to really help himself.
Yeah, it just takes over when you're in there.
I think the instinct just takes over of, I'm going to make this move because I'm capable of it.
Yeah, but this goes back to, and we talked about this with his injury. The injury can help him in that, and he mentioned this in a minicamp, Drew.
Yeah, I remember.
Is that in plays in which he would normally run, he's like, can't. he might be
forces him to.
We don't know, but he might be retraining his brain because that's not a choice for him right now.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't for this entire offseason ever choose to run or move. He had to just stand back there and look for a receiver. So maybe there's something to like retraining your brain in an offseason to not do that.
That's where all the conversations though come back with. If you're running, are you running where Ken Walker's comfortable, where it can help the pass game open up? And if that's part of the question. But also, do you trust that Chad O'Shea's doing a good enough job, or that the wide receivers develop enough where they can get open before Patrick even has to worry about trying to make a play with his feet? Like they get open fast enough, or the scheme gets the guys open fast enough, or Pat doesn't even have to worry about scrambling or anything like that as much.
Week 1, I mean, I know we're going to talk plenty about Ken Walker, but I don't know if anybody has a more important job week 1 than Josh Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
or Jalen Moore,
definitely. I mean,
against Denver in particular. Benito coming at your ass all
Denver, it's Mahomes' first game back from injury. Maybe he's a little bit more limited to the pocket. I know people freak out whenever we say that. Like, they act like we said he sucks or something. Yeah. People get very defensive when we mention, hey, there's a chance that maybe he's not as mobile week 1. They're like, how dare you say that? You must not think he's any good anymore. Like, no, it's okay. It's all right. All right, up next, let's get to what's trending. Then we'll also get back into what Salvador Perez might be able to do this week in terms of history and an update from SEC Media Days.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes you can cash in this football season out in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entries starting at $1,000, all with zero rake. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor. You pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with a $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Hey, Albert, can you help us plan and budget for a bathroom renovation?
I certainly can. Let me review your finances.
Who are you talking to?
Albert, my AI financial assistant that I can access right in the app. It automates all things finance, moves money, pays bills, creates personalized alerts, finds savings, and so much more.
Your bathroom renovation financial plan is ready. I found cash you can put aside, and to cover the rest, Albert can get you up to $10,000 fast.
Can you find contractors nearby within our budget?
Here's a list of contractors. Would you like help requesting a $10,000 loan for your bathroom renovation?
Yes! Download the Albert app and use promo code READY to access Genius. Plus, get up to $10,000 for whatever you need. Just download the Albert app right now and use promo code READY to get up to $10,000. That's promo code READY.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299.
816-412-6299.
Today, we tip our wrench to Rock Auto customer Dylan.
I actually used to manage a parts department for a car dealership, and we would get stuff from Rock Auto if I couldn't get it from my dealership suppliers. You pick the year, you go through all the drop-down menus, and it just makes it really easy to navigate and see what you want. Like a wheel bearing, for instance, for a Corvair that I have. Rock Auto's catalog made it really easy to find that specific one that I was looking for.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, the Royals got it done last night in the bottom of the ninth. Actually, a walk-off bunt after the Giants tied it in the top half of the inning. They're back at it this evening. Giants continue. Luinder Avila on the mound tonight. 6:40 first pitch. Vern's on deck, show at 5:30. History getting close to being made for Salvador Perez. He is now one shy of George Brett's Royals home run record. He's at 316. Tonight could be the night he ties it. Hopefully it happens while he's at home. That'd be pretty cool. Hopefully it all happens on this homestand. That way Royals fans can be part of that too.
Be nice. Obviously, for an all-time Royal like Salvador Perez, a guy who's going to have a statue at the new stadium, I assume, it'd be nice.
And we'll see, as you heard earlier today, J.J. Picollo on Bobby Wood Jr.'s status, who left the game yesterday, once again dealing with lower back tightness. Picollo made it seem as if he's not playing today, which I would just rest him for a long time, honestly. But he did emphasize multiple times in the answer, though, that they don't believe this is not like a serious back injury. It's back tightness. But, man, given the fact that you got a team that's got 41 wins, you're 41-60 on the year, it's your superstar franchise piece, I know he wants to play. I would just rest him the rest of the week, Cody.
Well, and knowing that Michael Massey, too, has had a history of this, not that Bobby would have that, but it would scare me enough to...
Back issues are just like with baseball players. It just screws everything up. So
I don't care if you're an athlete or not. Anybody that has any back problem, it sucks for a minimum. Like, it's not something that just goes away in 24 hours. No. I don't care if you're a superstar, world-class athlete, and in this case with Bobby, or you're just random 45-year-old dude that tweaked his back yesterday, know?
Next up on What's Trending, FIFA has opened up a disciplinary investigation into the fight at the end of the Argentina-Spain game, where members of the Argentinian players and coaches clashed with members of Spain team on the field. Obviously, it took place late in the match as it became clear Spain was going to win it. I'll say this is why when I did my rankings of the final 4 teams remaining, Argentina was one I was rooting for least. They got the worst attitude. They say awful things to people, seemingly. They were an easy team to root against. Somebody had asked, what's the other sports comparison for super likable superstar in the team and everybody else you hate? And then people were, of course, quote tweeting that with Mahomes. It's like, screw you guys. The Chiefs don't have a bunch of players to hate, though. That's the thing. No. Mahomes is the people that people hate because he's so good. It's not like we talked about, like Jamar Chase or like players that talk a lot of trash. They don't have that many of them.
The Bengals might be the example. People feel bad for Joe Burrow. They think Joe Burrow's a cool dude, but they hate. But Jamar Chase talks. Mike Hilton talks.
That whole team.
Everybody was
that
talking.
whole team. Yes. That couple of run. That whole team wouldn't shut their mouths.
Sore losers.
And
in a
Joe
way.
Burrow was, for the most part, quiet.
Yeah.
Just doing his job.
Yeah.
No, he does the least amount of trash talk on the team. It's not even close.
Yeah.
But Jamar Chase and that group, unbelievable.
Maybe they are
unbelievable.
True.
All right. Elsewhere on What's Trending, unfortunate news in media landscape today. ESPN having a bunch of layoffs go on. This is all because they merged with NFL Network. This was expected at some point. Today's the day, though. Tom Pelissero reportedly out. Carl Ravitch, Stefania Bell, Cam Newton, Ryan Clark so far. Others, I'm sure, still to come. Some of these guys have been since 1990s. Carl Ravitch's been there since 1993. So, look, your opinion on ESPN, maybe whatever it is, it's not what it was 15 years ago. I still don't like seeing anybody lose jobs, period. Especially, we're biased here. We're in the media. Yeah. So anytime somebody in media has mass layoffs, whether it's TV or radio, it's never a good thing. Nobody wants to see that.
It's especially crappy. A guy like Ravitch, who's getting ready to celebrate 35 years, found it from a reporter. They didn't even
second
get to
hand.
it before.
That's just wrong and messed up.
Ugh.
This stuff happens. I'll say that this stuff happens in media way more than I feel like this. When it comes to I'm not even talking about layoffs. I'm just talking about where people find out from other people. It's just wrong. People. I could go on a whole rant. People treat people like crap in some of these spots, and I think it's absolutely absurd and ridiculous.
Agreed. Next up on What's Trending, continued watching for LeBron James. His agent, Rich Paul, had said that they're not in any kind of hurry on it. There's some reporting that says they think a reporter out of Cleveland claims that it's 99.9% chance he's going there. It certainly seemed like there was some momentum maybe towards Miami all of a sudden. The point is, he hasn't announced where he's going yet, so we don't know where he's going.
LeBron watch.
I think Cleveland makes the most sense from a roster perspective.
Really?
Like, that might be one of the better spots he can land at.
No, Philly makes the most sense for that.
Yeah,
Philadelphia go win a championship next year. Cleveland just makes sense because
Cleveland's still a good team in the East.
For sure.
Really
I just want him to go to Cleveland because it's the perfect ending to a career. We all know he started there, Akron, etc. Miami, Miami's a spot I don't want him to go. I can go back down to South Beach after all this.
Is not good.
I mean,
I don't like the Miami roster.
If he doesn't want to win, then Golden State would be intriguing.
If he's supposed to play with Steph.
Yeah.
Well, and at least that would be like okay, I don't think this is going to work, but let me see.
I want to have some
This is like two of the greatest players to ever play on a team together. Why the hell not? Let's just see what happens.
One other note in the NFL today, the Dolphins and their linebacker Jordan Brooks have agreed to a 3-year, $51.3 million extension. $35 million guaranteed, according to Adam Schefter. He's now the third core piece of the Dolphins, or at least trying to keep around for a team that's a mess. But
these are all the players that everybody kept trying to trade to their team in hypothetical trades.
Mm-hmm. But Achane got an extension. Obviously, they signed Malik Willis.
But then they shipped out Waddle,
Jordan Brooks, and then I think their center. The name's escaping me. Their center's one of their other.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They have a couple. It's weird. The Dolphins. None of us think they're going to be any good this year. They might get the number 1 overall pick, but they have one of the top running backs in football. They have one of the better running backs in football, linebackers, in football, in Jordan Brooks, and they have one of the best centers in football. So it's not like it's weird. At 3 spots, maybe not the most positional value.
And they had Jalen Waddle, who is at least a top 20-ish.
But I don't know.
Wide receiver?
Maybe they'll maybe they'll surprise in terms of maybe they won't be the first overall pick. They'll be a team that finds a way to win 7 games out of nowhere. But I don't know. They could very well have the number 1. I think the Cardinals are going to be the worst team in football this year.
They went very defense heavy again. They had a couple of offensive guys.
Actually, I like the Cardinals' overall roster, but I don't like Miami's roster.
Really?
Overall roster.
Jacoby Brissett.
I said overall
Gardner
roster.
Minshew, Carson Beck.
Their quarterback
Cody's looking at
situation.
Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. potentially,
Yeah,
Michael Wilson,
and their
Jeremiah
defense
Love.
was slightly saltier than you think, and they did a good
That
job in the
division
division.
is just that division. The Cardinals are in, man.
That's a problem.
They got the Rams and Seahawks. Oh, and still the 49ers are there. Oh, and their cross division this year is the AFC West. Good luck, Cardinals. Good luck in 2026.
There aren't a lot of wins on that schedule. Plus, I did see the 49ers got a little scarier when I heard George Kittle absolutely. Did you see this? He was gushing about Mike Evans. He was like, essentially the quote is, "Thank God we have a veteran wide receiver around this group for the first time in forever." He's like, the difference in the way he works versus anyone we had since he'd said whatever veteran he had said, it was like Emmanuel Sanders was the name he mentioned. He's like, since we had a guy we're like, at least they know what the hell they're doing. And you're like, you know what? It has been a weird group. They've had talented wide receivers, but then also Ayuk has clearly got a 2-cent brain.
Right.
And Debo was never like a superstar. He's just like a dude. And he was a young player when he was around Kittle for a huge chunk of that time. And then it was Ricky Pearsall. It was all young guys.
Yeah, Pearsall's still there.
Yeah.
I just think that division's brutal for the 49ers. And then the question is, Christian McCaffrey was actually healthy all last year. Can he do that again? He's a year older. Trent Williams is, 38 years old now? I don't know what he is. I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer, but
And
still.
Evans is old too, and it's not like he stayed healthy.
And that's the big question.
Kittle's old. He's hadn't
we
stayed
talk about
healthy.
Evans in terms of coming to Kansas City, and he's had all these 1,000-yard seasons. Was banged up though last year. I'm a little worried that I think the cliff is he's going to reach the cliff and fall off here pretty soon. But maybe they get 1 year out of him there in San Francisco.
If there's someone, if they get a good year, if everyone stays healthy this year, they're a real problem because they do have weapons and high-end talent, but their high-end talent's all like Kittle misses games, McCaffrey misses games.
You think three
Evans
teams make the playoffs from that division?
I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, it
the
feels
only
like
problem is I like the North a lot too, and it's hard to imagine two teams won't make it out of there. And
I'm not
Two
sold
of
on
the better divisions in football.
Not sold on Green Bay.
No, I'm not totally sold on them, but I still think that's a good division. I think even Detroit, a lot of their metrics were better than even Kansas City's. Like that wasn't a bad Lions team. It was just a not quite as good as they had been Lions.
Yeah, I know we'll do our divisional previews when we get much closer to the season. Now we're just talking, but this is what's fun about the NFL. We could do this all day. I just the Lions part, Jared Goff, things have to be perfect for him. And when it's perfect, he's awesome. But what do they look like when they only have Jahmyr Gibbs there and they don't have David Montgomery
They got Pacheco
anymore?
now.
They have Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield as well.
That's right.
I got questions about Detroit.
That's fair. But the only team I don't have a question about in the NFC is the Rams, and probably Seattle.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
So the only part with Seattle is you lose your OC. So just what does Darnold look like there?
And you're going all in on Charbonnet, and then
you did lose.
They
Kenneth
drafted
Walker.
though. What's the guy from Notre Dame?
Price,
and he's it's off-season stuff. He's reportedly been very impressive and is super athletic. We'll see what happens in the season.
Man, I will say, and this is just now what we were just talking about. We can riff on NFL forever.
Yeah.
I saw the side-by-side of Ashton Genty's rookie year compared to the who's the Cleveland back who went like top 5, totally flamed out, went nowhere, eventually ended up in a couple different spots. Oh man.
Trent Richardson.
Oh, from Alabama.
Nearly identical.
Uh-oh.
Nearly
okay.
yards per
Trent
carry,
Richardson was
yards per touch, total yards. It was like borderline carbon copied the back of the football
Similar
cards.
style
And I
backs
had
in a
like,
way,
I was
yeah.
like, uh-oh, Ashton, you don't want to be looking in. Because do you remember like
He
Trent
was hit
Richardson
behind
got in
the line
league, and he immediately did not look like the same level of athlete as he did in college. And that's kind of how it looked for Genty.
How much of the offensive line did they improve in Vegas?
And that's
this
the
year?
thing. Ashton Genty,
that'll be the answer.
We'll
Cody.
learn this year, but Genty, how many? We had the stat at one point. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, never had a chance.
Oh, no, it was bad. But maybe it was that bad. I don't know. It was probably that bad for Trent Richardson. It was Cleveland.
Ooh,
it's not that wasn't good.
And then he went to Indy, I think, and it didn't work out there.
All I'm saying, yeah, because they got like decent picks for him out of Indy. Indy traded like a second or something for him. Insane.
How many?
And then they got burned too. Remember?
Yeah, we're really gonna learn. This will be the year, Cody, I guess, because he went from 950. Trent Richardson, I'm looking now, to 563. Did have less rushing attempts, but you could tell that he was not the same type of back that he was even in his rookie season.
Indianapolis gave up a first-round pick for Trent Richardson.
Is
that one of the worst trades ever?
Whoops. They've made. It's probably up there.
I mean, that's a pretty bad one, Drew. You tossing out a first for a guy who wasn't good in Cleveland, who wasn't very good in Cleveland.
I'm curious now. How long has Chris Ballard been the GM with the Colts?
Oh, at this point in time, has it been 10 years?
It's been almost 10 years. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that he was not the one making the move making that move as well, because he's been under hot water anyways in Indy for a long time.
They gave up a first-round pick after he spent a year and a half in Cleveland,
And that's
averaging
why Chris Ballard got hired,
3.2 yards
probably.
per carry.
Yeah. It's an interesting comp, not a good one for if you're Genty, but I would say there's a stat. Someone texted it as well. 600 of Ashton Genty's 975 were after contact. This dude was getting just mauled right away.
That's
he got the
crazy.
ball and immediately was having contact. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes moving forward.
That's crazy. Look, I know you like Boise, so you hope that he succeeds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I don't like the Raiders. So the same thing. I like Mendoza, but I hate the Raiders. So I hope he stinks.
Yeah, it's true. Sorry, Genty. Bad news.
Sorry.
We mentioned this with Mendoza. It's like, it's a real shame you went to a team that I'm just going to have to actively root
because
against.
Mendoza's very likable. Unfortunately, he plays for the Raiders, and so I hope he's very. I told you, I actually don't want him to suck. I want him to just be average, and they're enough where they think they got to give him another contract. And
I was like Bryce Young, and they're like, we don't know, but okay, let's pay him. Perfect.
It's the same thing as Bo Nix. Bo Nix is good enough that he's going to get another contract, but Bo Nix, last year they won the division. The Chiefs have not had anybody in this division yet that is the next top 5 quarterback. Yeah. Justin Herbert, everybody thought was that, and he's been very disappointing.
Text line, by the way, said, I would argue Deshaun Watson's worst. Nobody's arguing what the worst transaction in NFL history is. We know that's the Deshaun Watson deal.
He's going to start week 1.
That will forever go down as the worst transaction that's ever existed. Maybe in all of sports, not the NFL.
What's crazy, in the year 2026, I think Deshaun Watson's starting week 1 for Cleveland.
I do think they should, honestly. I don't know if it was you, Cody, that suggested this, but you should start
all 4 quarterbacks, 4 games apiece.
Yep. Yes.
That is legitimately my suggestion. And it's not like
they might start 2 or 3 no matter what anyway.
Make a full mockery of it, Cody. Yes, I agree.
This isn't even me making one of those like, hey, we're on TV, make some stupid hot take. I legitimately think for the future of their franchise, that would be the most likely to net positive results move, is to just start each of the quarterbacks. I think it was 3 games each, and then whoever's the best gets the rest of the season. Congratulations.
And worst comes to worst, you find, I guess, best case scenario,
included.
I guess the best case scenario is you find out who your future quarterback is, or you find out none of them are, get rid of, and then you know what you need to do.
They don't have their future quarterback. They got
I don't
draft
think so
one
either,
next
but
year. Deshaun Watson will start.
Going to be good. They don't have
Deshaun Watson's going to start week 1. By week 8, he's probably benched, if not sooner.
It would be stunning. That'd be one of the more stunning
if
things.
he just was good again.
If he actually was good again,
it would be stunning.
That would be pretty crazy.
I'd be pretty
surprised. Would be a wild turnaround.
I just think Sanders gets 3, Watson gets 3, Taylor Green gets 3, Dylan Gabriel gets shipped to wherever. He stinks. That guy stinks. He got no talent. What the hell were they like in the draft?
Taylor Green is an intriguing.
What did they see?
At Arkansas, former Boise Stater too, Drew.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder, like Drew, you watch nothing but college football. I watch just enough. Like if I, casual, everyday fan, can watch a player and be like, that guy, that's the one you want to spend a 3rd round pick on? That guy stinks. Like no juice. Like when it comes to like NFL talent.
His numbers are eerily similar to Bo Nix, which makes it from college, which makes it interesting. Dylan Gabriel, of course, is more like Drew Brees, though, in terms of the height.
But we know, like Oregon quarterback stats are not the same as like a real team. Like Oregon's a real team, but like the offensive numbers that someone puts up in Oregon or Hawaii, those are fake numbers. Those aren't like what they'll put up in the NFL.
How fitting. Someone said we have our emergency alert test going on while we were talking about Deshaun Watson. How fitting. How fitting.
Warning everybody of Cleveland that he might be back into the starting lineup.
That's true.
That was what started it.
His hamstrings might be tight again.
That is. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. You guys have a
I'm not even kidding. He can't even go to the team masseuse with his history. He just has to like get a Theragun and take care of it himself.
Hey man, I need you to take care of this all by yourself.
You're gonna need a home care by yourself, not no one else.
No, I think home care is the problem.
You guys were making fun of Eli Drinkwitz before the show. I think a lot of people kind of do.
Yeah, let's talk about him for a minute.
Like obviously the rivalry, KU and MU, they're going to play each other in September. Actually, Friday night, September 11th in Lawrence. I think we all like that the rivalry is back, whether you're on the Kansas side or the Missouri side of the rivalry. I think it's cool that they're playing again, and it brings out the trash talk around your office. Carrington and I give each other a hard time. And then there's comments like this. Eli Drinkwitz, SEC Media Days. I think, Drew, was this on SiriusXM? He was doing an interview for
SiriusXM College Sports Radio. Yep.
Okay, all right. So he was talking about the rivalry. Well, just take a listen.
It's very important. It's very important for the region. It's very important for us to continue to make investments in the sport. I think anytime you're continually asking fans to donate, you better have something that causes them to invoke that emotion. And when you talk about the University of Kansas, what's the best thing that comes out of the state of Kansas? I-70, okay? All right? And what do you call a good-looking girl in Kansas? A tourist, okay? So just so we're on the same page, it's important that you have rivalries, and it's important that you play those. And our guys understand that's a big-time game for us, and it's a big-time game. I mean, this thing goes all the way back to the 1800s.
What a dork. That's
really what it comes down to.
What a dork. Yeah, okay, we're going to make a joke about Kansas and Missouri. He thinks he was hilarious. He's just a dork.
As the kids would say, zero riz. Just painful.
Hey, in fairness to him, he's still out here bagging 5 stars, though. So.
I'm not saying
he's a hell of a recruiter.
He has enough riz to get those guys to go there.
The biggest compliment I can give him, and I have on this show for years, he's a hell of a recruiter.
I
can't deny that. He's a hell of a recruiter.
So
their schedule this year is not going to do them any favors.
No, it doesn't help. I do think that it's interesting. So a lot of people are making fun of him, and I think even because talked about how much of a nerd he is, because he's all into the Star Wars thing. He's super into it. As much of you can call him a dork or corny or whatnot, but this is kind of what college sports is. Like whether it's Steve Sarkisian or Dabo or anybody. This is what college sports is, where he said we need to find way. We need to get donors to invest in this stuff, and we need rivalries that are good. Then he goes full on into the bit. You know what's only good about the best thing to come out of Kansas is I-70. You know what the best?
That's not even
Kansas
a good joke, though.
I understand that.
If you're going to pop off on these, get a better writer.
No, you don't. This is perfect it is perfect for Coach Drinkwitz, and he's very good for college football, just the same as Dabo is and Sark and all of the crazy weirdness that goes on. But also,
I'll never forget Dabo after he said he's going to quit if they ever paid players.
He did exactly what I think the response that Gold has given, being a KU guy, I think is exactly what he was going for and exactly what is going to make the rivalry fun again. Is he's poking the bear. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he might not even believe some of the stuff that he's saying. But that's why I think I love it, just from the standpoint of, and I don't know if there's going to be any clapback from Lance Leipold. He doesn't come across as the person.
Lance Leipold's not going to do that.
He doesn't come across as the person to say that. But I do really think that it's fun when this happens, because this is the part of college sports that I think is more fun that we get than any other professional sport, where coaches will take digs and jabs and they make it a game and it's fun and it's all play. I enjoy this part of it, and I think that that's part of boosting the
he's playing the game. I'm not disagreeing that he's playing the game. I can still think he's an absolute dork. Absolute dork. And the joke wasn't that funny anyway.
Yeah,
and I've been to Columbia and Lawrence. Trust me, I'm not worried about the difference between the women in particular city. I know which one's better anyway already, so we're good.
I mean, wow! Now we're taking shots of the talent in the
absolutely.
city.
Yes,
this is what we
Lawrence
need here.
over Columbia every single day of the week.
I mean, essentially, he did just say Kansas is full of a bunch of uggos.
That's what he said. He called every single woman in Kansas ugly. That's what Eli Drinkwitz did. That's what he did.
Make this person. I love when rivalries are personal. That's where college sports, and the NFL has some of it, but that's where the rivalries and stuff that what makes college sports great is the rivalries and some of the things that go into that.
Are we all going to the game in September? We're trying to go.
To Cincinnati? Or wait,
no.
To the rivalry.
KUMU, Friday, September 11th. Friday night.
I don't think I got anything going.
Let's go to Lawrence. Drew, have you been to Lawrence?
I still wish it wasn't a half
to Lawrence
completed stadium.
I've been to
Lawrence.
it's
still under renovation.
But I'm all for getting this rivalry going. So I mean, I would love it.
It's fun.
I don't know if KU beats MU and Lance says something slight. Yes, please.
KU's a pretty big dog in that game.
And Missouri has come out and Coach Drinkwitz I think is right too. He also said, this wasn't in the quote, but Missouri wants to play the rivalry. He was like, I think Kansas wants to play the rivalry. The fact that we both want to play it, it's good to have it. So we need to try to figure out what the future could be. So beyond just this 2-year original deal, I think we can see this rivalry continue to go. So I'm all here for this stuff. I think it's a lot of fun.
I think.
And no, I will not only go there if there's a blue out. KU in fairness might actually do something like that though, which I would appreciate.
We talk about this a lot when it relates to the. Can someone explain to me why we were just talking the NFL and ESPN? Can someone tell me why Adam Schefter's taking it upon himself to talk about when teams are wearing jerseys now?
What?
He's constantly sending out tweets like the Bengals are going to wear their white helmets in December. I'm like, I don't care, Schefter.
You should, Cody, because it's a lot of fun.
Don't care.
You should.
It's not Cincinnati. I just don't care. I don't care what uniform anyone's wearing in any game.
But it's cool though. It's the whole theme.
That's a college sport.
They're doing the stripe out, but they're doing it with the white helmet and the white jersey. They're
made it seem like it's the first time ever.
They're icing out the jungle with the stripes. I love it.
It's fine, but I don't need
my favorite thing. I don't know. The jersey stuff gets overblown anyway. Like the jersey stuff, either like good or bad, gets overblown.
Oh yeah. I can't wait, though, in fairness, because the Chiefs have really never changed their jersey in any real way, and for the first time ever in a couple of years, they're going to have to.
And it's next year.
They're gonna have to have a game in which they wear a jersey that is way unlike any jersey they've ever worn. Not just stick a Texans helmet on and call it a day. Like they're going to have to put on something that doesn't look like a Chiefs jersey, and every fan is going to hate it. Because no team in the NFL has been more consistent with their look than the Chiefs. Hell, even the Steelers wear those like weird jailbreak uniforms, like
the Bumblebees.
Yeah, the Cowboys have had a few different iterations of their jerseys over the years that change to or fro, or they'll go back. Like Kansas City, the Chiefs just wear the same jersey. They wear white on white, red on white, red on red,
white on white,
red on red. That's it. Those are the four.
The red on red they haven't worn in a bit. I think
I hate that look anyway.
They've lost some games here recently in the red on red.
Someone said the jerseys get the kids involved. 100%. It gets you excited. That's why Oregon has 90 different uniforms.
But again, you said it's a college thing. In the NFL, it's not as big on the. But there's some teams certainly have better uniform combinations.
Sure.
But in the NFL, is not nearly as fans are not nearly as focused on the uniform. In college, they do it a lot for, as you know, for recruiting. The high school kids care deeply about what the uniforms look like.
No.
That are going through recruitment and everything.
Raiders have been very consistent. That's another team that really hasn't changed.
I mean, it's hard to. I guess you.
I told you I want the matte black helmet one day. I want a matte black helmet.
I really am hoping.
The Chiefs did one color rush game and they were in red on red. It was just like a slightly brighter red.
I want them to do black on black on black, please. That would be awesome.
With the matte black helmet and the red arrowhead outline?
Yes.
Yeah, like red neon outline.
All black, a blackout at Arrowhead would be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't have to. The uniforms could be. That doesn't. The blackout. I think the new stadium. So I'll give you this. One day at the new Arrowhead, they will probably have some colored theme crowd thing. I don't think they'll do it while they're at Arrowhead.
I am begging
but the new Arrowhead probably will have some sort of theme thing at some point down the road when it's all new tradition anyway.
Yep.
But why mess with Arrowhead right now?
Nah, just let it.
We'll do it at the new
last
stadium.
few
Do it at the new stadium maybe. All right. Up next, we'll get to the random question of the day and how we view some of these other teams in the AFC next.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
It's Telly Tire and Auto Center summer sale. Buy 4 new Continental tires and save up to $350 with instant mail and rebates when you add installation, road hazard protection, and wheel alignment. Hurry, offer ends July 31st. Take it to Telly. Details at tellytire.com.
If you're looking for a new job and to work for a great local company, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is hiring.
top pay in the industry, health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and advancement opportunities. Check them out at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help, and help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Brought to you by Duke's Real Mayo.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Coming up in about 8 minutes, we'll get to the random question of the day. 913-586-7965, the J Southland Tow Service text line. Video stream up and running on Twitter, X, Facebook, and Twitch. You guys can interact there. Of course, there's the chat there. We got the text line. Plenty of ways to interact with the show. And don't forget, football coverage on 96.5 The Fan, presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi. One price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. Let's talk some more football as, again, we inch closer and closer to training camp. Quarterback report day with rookies is on Friday. First practice, remember, no pads yet, but on Monday, we will be up there in St. Joe, broadcasting live from 10 to 2, the only show broadcasting live throughout training camp. The first day of fans, I believe, is Wednesday, right? Cody, is that right? Next Wednesday, is that the first day for fans or season ticket holders?
Season ticket holders.
Yeah,
That's fans, but season ticket holders on Wednesday, yeah. And then I think open to the public starting on Thursday or Friday. We aren't up there on next Thursday, because it's a day game, but the rest of that week as well. And then we'll be full-blown in camp. There's almost no question about it, which is why you and I started to look at some of the bigger offseason stuff and windows for the other AFC teams. And look, the truth is that it feels smaller than ever for most of them. A couple of years ago, I would have told you that the Bills had they had paid Josh Allen and they were still competing. I'd have given them a 4-year window. The Chiefs, infinite. I pretty much just locked them into that because the rate in which Mahomes wins. So unless...
Does that change if Andy Reid... Like, if I told you Andy Reid, whether it's a year from now or 3 years from now, does that change
that's fair.
if
Maybe
Andy,
I should view the window as that for now.
If he's not the head coach at some point?
I don't know. I have a hard time imagining they're going to get a bad head coach because I don't know that they'll go the inexperienced route. They would at least get a decent, I would think, head coach on the market, but that's hard to say for sure. I don't think it's going to be like McVay or some of these others that people dream about.
That is the dream down the road.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be. And so, like, the reality is he probably won't be available. But more than ever, genuinely, if it wasn't for Josh Allen's consistent success at getting to the playoffs and winning, I actually think their better rosters are already gone and that their Super Bowl championship window might be cooked. They couldn't get past Denver last year. They had a wide open field. And they couldn't get past Bo Nix in a divisional round game because Josh Allen couldn't get out of his own way for the first time. And look, part of the reason, guess what, Gold? Part of the reason he didn't succeed in that is because they didn't have the weapons anymore, because the defense wasn't quite as good, because their offensive weapons weren't quite as good, because he's making a mountain of cash. And those Bills rosters that went into the postseason 3 different times with the top 5 defense on points per game and a top 5 offense in points per game, those are gone. I'm only leaving the window open for a couple of years because Josh Allen can still run and move the way he does. I don't think it's going to go full Cam Newton, but I said last week, I think we're underestimating the fact that eventually this is going to catch up to them. No one has ever run the way he runs into their late 30s, other than maybe Steve Young, and he started playing quarterback when he was like 27. Like, nobody does it, not even people the size of Josh Allen. And so, I think theirs is 2, Bengals maybe 2, Ravens maybe. They might be done too. I'd give them maybe one that I'm sure about,
I mean, there's exceptions. The Chiefs and the Patriots who go on these 5+ year runs, and clearly the window's wide open when you have Brady and you have Mahomes. Josh Allen and Lamar are both incredible quarterbacks, but saying that their window's like 2 or 3 years, that is what it is for most
teams.
I think that is what it is for most teams. The question with both those teams now is, what is their new head coach hire? Jesse Minter is a first-time head coach in Baltimore. I know the Ravens fans are very excited about him. They think that it's going to be all fine now that Harbaugh's gone. I think they could be careful what you wish for. John Harbaugh was one of the best coaches in the league for 15+ years. Yes, it was probably time to move on, but Jesse Minter
definitely be worse.
Is not a guarantee that he's going to be the guy that gets you over the hump. And Lamar Jackson is unbelievable, 2-time MVP award winner. But you were just talking about Josh Allen and his running style. Will Lamar Jackson be able to adapt? He is a way better passer than anybody ever gave Lamar Jackson credit for coming out of college, etc. But when he runs, he obviously puts his body in a position, of course, to get hurt as well. Josh Allen is a much bigger quarterback. I think your question about him when in his late 30s might be fair, but I also think his body allows him to take those hits a bit more than any other quarterback we really see in the league.
I do, but I pointed this out while you were gone. So did Cam Newton until he could.
He's the one comp on that.
Yeah, and there aren't a lot of comps because there aren't that many players of Josh Allen or Cam Newton's size who run the way that they run. And so
I saw Cam Newton got laid off today, too. I had him on the list.
He was
ESPN.
A long list, sadly, from ESPN. I think when we forget about the coaching thing, and maybe this is what we talk all the time, windows are easy with quarterbacks. Josh Allen will still be good 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, most likely. Lamar Jackson, a little more questions. Burrow, mostly because how long will Jamar Chase be good? Little more questions. Drake May, Bo Nix. they can only be team good as long as their quarterbacks are cheap that I'm willing to parse out in years. But we shouldn't ignore the coaching thing. Because I went back just a couple of years because that's how long a coaching cycle would take. 2022. And I'm sure most of these teams thought, oh yeah, we're getting the dude, right? Not all, but most probably like their hiring. None of them are even employed anymore. And I'm telling you, some of these teams really liked their hire. Not all. The Texans hiring Lovie Smith, they didn't think that was going to work. But Chicago hired Matt Eberflus, Nathaniel Hackett for Denver, Doug Peterson for Jacksonville. He's not even the head coach there anymore. Josh McDaniels for the Raiders, Mike McDaniels for Miami. He's not the head coach anymore. Kevin O'Connell. He's the only one still employed. Brian Dable and Todd Bowles were two of the other people hired during that cycle. And so, what I want to remind people, anytime they change head coach, every team always thinks it's going to get better at head coach. But Sean McDermott and Harbaugh had a tremendous amount of success there. Way more than almost any other head coach. And so, the idea that somehow it's just going to be better because Joe Brady took over, okay, I guess. But it doesn't, it's actually more likely that both of those guys are worse than the two,
certainly than Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh had a ring.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, did he? He had a ring. He had a ring. So that's the difference between him even and Sean McDermott.
But Sean McDermott, I mean, look, you and I both thought that it was time to change all this stuff. He was 98-50. Only missed the postseason once, and that was a year. Yeah. I just want to point out the year he missed the postseason was the year he did not have Josh Allen. So he never missed the postseason with Josh Allen. He averaged 12 wins a season with him, won the division every year but one. I mean, I don't know that Joe Brady's just picking that up, especially because we just talked about the rosters were better than what Joe Brady's going to be working with now. Same thing as, and it's different because when a team's not making the playoffs, I do think you can do better. But those coaches were actually having a lot of regular season success.
I think Cincinnati can do better than Zach Taylor.
Yeah, same.
Sean McDermott, it was highlighted in the postseason, though. He made way too many mistakes in the last 5 years in the postseason.
He did. Postseason got him.
So that's what's could Joe Brady be better in-game in big moments? Yeah, maybe so. But can he get the team to that same spot again? That's the trade-off. We'll see. I mean, anytime you have Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, you always got a chance to be in the hunt.
Who do you think is the second biggest winner in the entire NFL besides, let's say the Chiefs?
In the entire NFL?
Yeah.
That's a great question, honestly.
If you ranked it out, because I'd put the Chiefs one, and that's, again, they're getting a lot of credit for previous history. But.
Man, it's tough because if Seattle backs up this year with another deep run.
Darnold, though, I mean, eventually
he's not old.
He's going to get another check. Check gets bigger. Because right now he's an affordable quarterback. He's a weirdly affordable quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Seattle will be anywhere near the exact levels they were a year ago. I'm just trying to think who else has a long
Caleb
window.
Williams believer to say Chicago.
I think it's an if. But if Sean McVay stays in L.A. and Ty Simpson can work out, then,
I can't say that window's open without knowing the quarterback, though.
Not without him.
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying.
But if it is the quarterback, then that window will have been open for.
Sure.
That window will have been the longest one.
I think it might be the Patriots.
I hear what you're saying on the Rams, but we can't possibly say they have the longest window when we're now saying this hypothetical about who might be the quarterback in a year or two. I mean, I have to at least have seen the quarterback play for the window to be wide open.
I think the answer has to be the Patriots, doesn't it? High quality head coach, good quality quarterback play, maybe high quality quarterback play.
Don't you think they're falling off this year, though?
I'm just Chicago. I mean, who's my answer supposed to be? If two, then it might just be Buffalo again, and maybe it is. Maybe it is Buffalo.
I don't think anybody has. Again, most teams in the league have a 2 year, quote unquote, a 2 year window. I mean, it's unless somebody's about to start a dynasty, then I don't think anybody's saying they got a chance to win the Super Bowl every single year.
I guess that's why I feel like it might be New England, because they'll be able to ride out 4 more cheap years of Drake May because of how long it takes a contract to kick in and all this other stuff. They'll be able to ride out 4 years of cheap Drake May. Their roster is up and coming. It's not pre-made like Denver's where they finally got a quarterback. Denver's roster is a little bit older than New England's. New England's is all on the up. And so in a lot of ways, it's Vrabel's a really solid head coach. He's younger than Sean Payton, so I don't have to worry about that portion of it. I think it might be New England with the second longest window. But you're right. I think they might slip back a little this year, but I'm just talking about entirety of windows. I think that their roster could still compete. Their biggest problem is that, they got somebody who's real in their division. The team I want to say a team that has nobody in their division, but I'm not choosing the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not choosing anybody in the NFC South.
Yeah, that division's just crap.
It's really
the
bad.
NFC South stinks.
It is once again going to be just
which is
an
good
awful
news.
team.
Which is good news if you're one of those teams that's trying to figure things out. But
Who gets the NFC South this year, divisionally?
oh, schedule wise,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm just going to be choosing the AFC version of that.
Oh, okay.
You know, that'll be my sleeper team. It's
Is it the AFC North or no?
AFC South.
I gotta look.
The Saints play the Browns and the Bengals and the.
Okay, so yeah, it must be the North then.
I think
So
it's
they got the North?
I think it's the AFC North and the AFC
I'm
South.
taking everyone's win total up a notch in the North this year. Whenever everyone gets one additional win, maybe two, for facing that division. That's a tough draw for the South. Winner of that division is going to be under 500 again, aren't they?
No, not again, but it'll be close. It'll be close.
It's going to be tight. You're not willing to go above 9-8.
Yeah, I mean, the question is with like last year, Carolina won the division under 500. Is that happening again? The Bucks Baker contract stuff. No Mike Evans anymore. 10 wins wins you the division probably still, but I don't know if it's in under 500. The real question is what's Atlanta? Is Tua starting week 1? Can they maximize that? They still have Bijan, Kyle Pitts, your guy is still there. Drake London,
Darnell Mooney.
The defensive line was pretty decent last year.
Yeah, Pierce seems like he's going to be available to them. Doesn't feel like he should be.
Oh,
but
James Pierce Jr.
Well, he entered the diversion program, so he's at least going to be available to him for part of the season.
He was.
He is in very serious trouble, and I assume there's still a personal conduct policy suspension coming
no
his
idea.
way. But
no idea.
you know, especially because he entered a diversion program, so his legal stuff is like out of the way, I think. So, you know, you'd think if you don't remember that story, he reportedly like stole a car and then almost hit an officer with it and was like threatening his girlfriend and a bunch of stuff. It was like dark. Like I assumed he'd never play in the NFL again, and somehow he's just on the Falcons still. NFL teams, turns out they like talent, Gold, and care a lot less about a lot other things. So a little bit of a change.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. And, of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, we live stream the show every single day. If you want to catch us over on video, really no way to miss us, if we're being honest. I think we're going to have another way for you to listen to us here to be mentioned here soon. But you can catch us on the video streams, the Odyssey app, your car radio, whatever else you might possibly want. All of that stuff available to catch us on the show. I'm going to ask a simple question, Gold, and then unfortunately I have something I don't want to admit to you, but I think it relates to a medical. I have to get a CT scan today for my wrist, and I'll tell you about
For your wrist?
Mm-hmm. And that's not an issue you've heard about yet.
An x-ray?
I already had an x-ray. I had to get a CT of the wrist now.
A CT of the wrist?
I'll explain in a minute. Well, it's a non-contrast CT. It's like a...
I already kind of know
taking a
about
bunch of
this.
slivers to get like
you know about this?
I'll get a super x-ray.
Yeah, partially.
Yeah. So I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Oh, my goodness.
But let's get to the simple...
What have you been doing?
Because I want to tell you about that, I'm going to make the random question very simple today because it's been so hot and I want to know what people's threshold is. What is the temperature in which you are no longer willing to go outside for a free ticket for a Royals game today?
Like this year's Royals team?
No. Yeah, this year's. I got a Diamond Club, front row, $100 in food and beverage. What's the tip in which you'll no longer go? Because I'll tell you right now, someone could offer that to me today. I'm not going. I think my break point is 95. If it is 95 and you were inviting me to an outdoor activity, I'm not interested in going to your activity. Is there a temperature in which you just turn down those things? Not water related. Is there a temperature in which you turn down going somewhere with someone for heat related reasons?
Yeah, there's a temp, but you know, like if tonight there was a Crown Club ticket,
you're gonna go sweat?
I would go
inside for that. That's
I would go. Yeah, I would go if there was a Crown Club ticket. Diamond Club with the beverage credit included.
Yeah,
I would still go tonight. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I would still go.
It's 98 or something.
It's at night. Now, if it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, absolutely not.
Day game, is there a number?
Yeah.
For Crown, there is, but no other seat in the house, right?
Yeah. For a day game, if it's 98 degrees at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm out.
Like it was probably like 2 weeks ago. Somebody invited me, like, hey, we're going to go to the park or whatever. I was like, the park? My kids don't go to the park when it's... I'm not sitting outside at the park when it's this hot.
Yeah,
You're not catching... If you were inviting me to an outdoor activity in weather like this in the daytime, I'm not coming. Like plain and simple, I'm not attending.
Well, it's been so like I don't like
a wedding. I'm not attending.
I don't like walking on the treadmill. I'd rather walk outside around a park or whatever. And so it's been normally I've been going after the show or in the morning. It's been so I had to wait till like 8:30, 8:45 last night to go walk because I'm not walking at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in this heat. It's awful. So, yeah, there's always a temperature where it changes.
Someone says 85, they're no longer attending outdoor activities. Somebody said 89 degrees, that's it for them. Like, unless it's like a required activity. Again, if you're like, hey, let's go to the park and hang out, like, no. Like, we're going to take the kids to Penguin Park. That's not far from my house. I will not be. Like, you want to hang out and grill? Grill?
Oh, grilling when it's 95
That's
outside
a whole nother nightmare.
Yeah, it's made it. Yeah, you can't be grilling when it's the heat index is 105. That's miserable.
Somebody says it's got to be over 100 for them. Tyrion says it's got to be over 95. He said at 100 he'll turn it down. At 95 he becomes more selective.
Is he a Lannister?
Like I don't know, maybe
Tyrion.
The offer. Well, maybe he's a Game of Thrones fan. Someone says 95 is a pretty good limit. That's what Bobby said over on Twitch. He said he's a massive, massive baseball fan. Only missed radio TV for maybe a dozen games. And even he's saying 95 is pretty much like,
did Drew say
I got to
number?
think about it. What's yours, Drew?
I'm
Drew
probably
loves
not.
the heat.
I'm probably not a good person to ask
us.
about this. I went on a run over the weekend when it was like 95 outside.
See, he likes the heat.
Lunacy.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing. If it's just any outdoor activity.
In Kansas City, humidity too, because someone's saying, what if there's zero humidity? No, we're talking about it's 90 plus and there's humidity. It's Kansas City in the summertime.
I took like a hand.
I've lived in Florida, so I'd like, for people who say Kansas City is humid, like
I think it's more humid than parts of Florida. Not all of Florida.
No way. There's no chance. There is zero chance.
Parts of
I
Florida.
lived in the north part of
That's
Cody,
the
I
armpit of
Pensacola.
America. That's one of the hottest places, humidest places.
I will say Houston was way worse. I lived in Houston for almost 2 years. The humidity there is worse than
Cody,
here.
I went as north of North Florida as you can almost go, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
I would
believe
say
it.
110, 105.
It was like maybe
it's probably what I'll be like. I don't know.
It was maybe Saturday or Sunday. It was like 8:30 or 9 in the morning, and I was like hand planing down a screen porch door that keeps sticking to just make it slightly shorter. And it was like I did it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, screw this. I'll just do this a different day. It's too hot.
Yeah,
I was sweating my ass off. I'm like, this is insane.
I mean,
I'm not doing anything outside.
You know, but if you go in knowing you're going to sweat, like I've golfed in 95-degree Florida heat, and you know you're going to get soaked, like you're going to be sweating like crazy. But it's not. I'm not going to do something because it's 95 in Florida humidity. Like that's fine.
Top text from 480. I believe that's Arizona. So it says Arizona listener, high of 110 this week. I'll take it over the Midwest 97 all day.
That's because 110 is a true 110.
It's a dry heat. You know,
There
it's
is
just a dry
difference.
heat. Oh, there
Although,
is.
in fairness, it's not that big. Alex and I will be in Las Vegas thanks to Circus Sports and their
end of August
contest weekend. Will be out there coming up in about a month from today or so. It's pretty close to that. And so about 5 weeks from now, we'll be out there. And I'll just tell you right now, it'll be like 105. We'll be out of the pool. Feels every bit 105. Feels hot as hell. Feel like I'm on the surface of the damn sun when we're sitting out there.
That's really interesting.
If it's not a pool, I'm not interested. If it's not, hey, Cody, I'm inviting you to a body of water in which you can cool off. No, thanks. Miss me on the invite. All right, so for the CT scan tonight.
Yeah, okay, stop. Back up. Wrist. What happened? What happened to your wrist?
Quick story.
What
6
were
weeks
you
ago,
doing?
nothing. 6 weeks ago, that I know of. 6 weeks ago, I for like a couple days, my wrist really started to hurt, and I couldn't figure out why. And I just like bought a cheap Amazon brace, took some ibuprofen, and it took like 2 weeks. But like 2 weeks later, it felt normal. Felt felt okay. I was like,
Why
okay,
are you wearing a brace right now?
no big deal. Well, because I don't know what they want me to like not wear. Whatever. I'm just waiting for the doctor. So 6 weeks ago, after a couple weeks, it feels normal. No big deal. Wake up like a week ago, and it's like it's the same way as it was before. And I'm like, oh man, I guess I got to get this looked at because I can't every month have my wrist hurt a lot, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I went to the doctor, and he was like, I don't think it's fractured. I don't know. And the radiology results said could be fractured, could be artifacts, which means like I could have like rheumatoid arthritis or whatever. But
I was going to ask if you got like carpal tunnel or something.
That's what I thought too, but they didn't seem to think that that's what it was. But the very first thing the doctor mentioned when I went in there, my primary care, he said it could be something called, I'm not making this up, pseudo gout.
Ah, yeah, I told you all these years.
Wait!
All these years.
I was afraid to tell you because of this. That's not regular gout. Pseudo gout presents like gout. It's not gout. It's a different thing. And that's not the diagnosis yet. So I want you to be cool until we get an actual diagnosis. It might be something called pseudo gout, not gout.
For anybody that's listened to this show we've been on the air for almost 7 years, 6.5 years. For 4 years, I've said you've had gout, and you went to a doctor, and they
said this is not the same thing.
Yeah,
That's
he said
not gout.
Pseudo gout. It's gout.
It
You got
presents
gout.
differently.
I could have saved you a ton of money. All these, you went to the doctor. I'm sure a specialist. That's going to be expensive. Oh my goodness!
I told
Gout
him
it
that
is.
I told
Gout
him
it
that
is.
If it was,
We don't know that it's
gout.
gout. I have to go get a CT scan tonight.
I mean, I hope it's not gout, but I also
hope it is gout for some reasons. It's also not the same as gout. Pseudo gout's different. I made this point to Drew.
This obviously
it's not the same problem. It's not the same
wouldn't
buildup.
happen.
But
It
believe this, Drew?
It obviously wouldn't happen, but we joked about it last week. It would be absolutely hilarious if we had a fan club and the doctor came in with the results. Cody did not know the results. And like Maury, instead of saying you are the father, you have gout.
Cody.
It would be,
you do have gout.
It would be pretty epic.
I just hope it's broken, and I don't realize
My
how
one of my nephews broke his wrist. He had to go to the doctor again today. He fractured his wrist at camp.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, no surgery, I don't think. Although I haven't heard he had a follow up today or something.
Just a cast.
What's weird is like they're like, can you think of anything that you would have broken your wrist?
That's
And
what I was
like,
asking you.
No.
Well, I mean, honestly, what were you doing?
I don't remember. I just woke up and my wrist hurt.
That's why the gout makes more sense. It's been a long condition. You got the foot. The foot issue too.
Yeah, Cody. In fairness, it's not like something. If you don't know what happened to you, that could be something that's built up in there somehow.
It's not the uric acid person on the text line. It's different. It's pseudo gout. As it presents like gout, it's not gout, and that's only one possible diagnosis he offered. Okay. It could just be a fracture. He didn't think I
Years
broke
and
it.
years of
He looked
conversation
he looked
about
at the
this.
X-ray because it was quick, and he's like, "I'll have to have a radiologist look at it because he's not in today." And he's like, "I don't see a fracture," but the radiologist said could be a fracture, but it could just be that I like have rheumatoid arthritis or some other nonsense.
When anyone takes Cody Gouts it instead of doubts, of course.
Someone says I was really excited to hear Alex's reaction to this while he was out because I briefly mentioned it while I was gone.
Someone's had never heard someone so excited.
I
Well,
will
it's
say
just
your
because
reaction was
for
pretty-
years,
pretty funny.
we've been talking about this.
I'll let you know. Obviously, I won't have the results tonight. I'll just get.
So
the
I'm
sequence.
assuming you think it'd be like managed under medication or what?
I don't know.
You don't
Well,
know. Yeah.
Pseudo gout. It's not treated the same way gout is because it's not uric acid.
Yeah,
buildup.
just go
It's
to
a
the
different-
knife. You know, it's always a solution. Just,
Honestly,
just
at this
go to the
point,
knife.
fine.
You know.
Just give me wrist surgery. It's not like I need my wrist that much for this job.
Yeah.
Other than I
You're not
type it
getting
right.
amputated.
I just meant for the few weeks
Text
where I'm
line,
healing.
Okay.
Text line's making the obvious joke. Good thing you're not a single guy and you're married. That's all I'm saying. The text line's all over you. All over you. Wrist injury, Up next, we'll get to the 1 o'clock hour, and we'll talk more about gout and how about the Chiefs and where they're at in the AFC.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This July is America's 250th birthday, and because of that, our friends at Low T Center are celebrating 250 years of freedom with their 250 for 250 deal. I mention this because you're probably tired of your body falling apart like mine, right? And maybe it's just you're not feeling the same. After 40, things change. And if you've been having low testosterone, if you think you've been having those issues, maybe your sex drive has been lower, maybe the workouts haven't been the same, you just don't feel like your normal self, all of those things can be a sign of low testosterone. So get it checked out at Low T Center with their 250 for 250 deal. Because bringing back your energy, your health, your youth, those things are worth celebrating. Visit fixmylowt.com. Book your free T-test today. That's fixmylowt.com. Offer in July 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com. And Doug.
Hot dog, get your hot dog.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer, 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsight.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. And that's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, save more on the brands you trust to deliver on the job. Right now, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a DeWalt 10-inch 20-volt max dual bevel compound miter saw. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Save even more on what you need to keep the job moving. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/31 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, it's Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to the home of the Royals, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
One o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Coming up in 25 minutes, if you missed it, our conversation with Royals general manager J.J. Picollo. We asked him about the health of Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez chasing history. Could pass, or at least tie, I should say, George Brett tonight. Could do both, I guess, but got to time first. But he could do both tonight, though.
That'd be a fun way to do it.
Again, I hope it happens at Kauffman. In a season that has been vastly disappointing. Still like seeing some history. We also asked JJ just about the trade deadline, of course, and he acknowledged. He said, actually, yesterday is when phone calls picked up. He started getting more phone calls from teams as we approach the trade deadline, which is, 13 days away? 2 weeks from yesterday, I guess is.
Problem is, if he doesn't tie it in the next 2 games, they're on a 10-game road trip.
All right, so we need 2 homers today or tomorrow.
So it's like, well, at least tie it, right? Maybe don't break it, but at least you're all knotted up with George Brett before, things kick off at least a little bit. But yeah, you'll hear that coming up, like you said, at 1:30.
Before we get into the Chiefs and what their mentality needs to be heading into camp and in week 1 of the season after a 6-win season, I know you have gone to this before, and I need someone out there to give me some hope. I need someone to give me some hope on something because I got the dreaded email notification from Augusta National, from the Masters, once again for a 8th, I actually think it might be the 9th year in a row, that I was not selected, like so many of you, for Masters lottery tickets. Cody's been selected for practice round.
I was selected for practice round.
Cody is gone.
Which is more than most people.
They let you select what days. I never select practice because for me, if I'm going to spend the money to go down there, I want to go to an actual round. That's just my thing.
Both.
Yeah, and you had a great time. So I selected, my brother-in-law did a lottery entry. Neither one of us has got it. And I get it. There's some people who have been doing this for 20 years and haven't gone. I need someone out there to tell me, have you done the lottery and got selected for an actual round? Because I'm now convinced that it's just like they do the lottery, but to get the actual Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you got to know somebody.
Well, there's always people saying like, wow, it's a weird number of influencers who applications were selected during that time, right?
So, Drew, have you done the lottery for multiple years?
He doesn't do it, which is insane.
What? You're a massive golf fan.
It's crazy.
Okay, well, can you at least do it so one of we can have more entries in the
if you don't want it. They say it's 1 in every 200 people, but I have a really hard time believing it because when I think about the number of people I know every year who submit, no one ever gets it. You're not the only person I've heard say every 10 years get denied.
I think that if I selected a practice round sometime over the last 9 years, I think I would have got a ticket to a practice round.
I got one, but even that seems
I don't know of anybody that has done the Masters lottery. For those that don't know, once a year, you go on there, you select your dates, and then they notify you in July, and then it's the same thing every year. And you could buy tickets actually very cheap. They're not that expensive if you get it through the lottery.
Practice round tickets were almost nothing for me. I think it was $400 for the. Maybe it was less than that.
It's less than that. Yeah, it's less than that. Even the actual rounds, Cody, I think are like $120 a piece or something, or $100 a piece. But I don't know anybody that's actually got the rounds.
I think it was $100. I think it was $400 for the 4.
Okay. Oh, you got 4. Okay. Someone says it's all rigged. You only win, you get a practice round. That's what I'm thinking. I've lost hope. I need someone to give me some renewed hope.
I guess I've never heard of anyone to get a regular one. Yeah.
It takes 2 seconds to do it. So every year after the Masters, I go on there, I fill out the form, and I wait till July to get disappointed.
I haven't seen a single person on Twitch or YouTube or the text line say that they've gotten one.
Someone says their uncle's been doing it for 15 plus years, hasn't gotten either. I've been doing it for 5 and nothing. Yeah.
Bobby on Twitch says, my buddy of mine went last year and practice round. Rob's brother, I think.
Practice round.
Went a couple of years ago and I think it was a practice round.
It's always the practice.
I don't
want to spend a fortune on lodging down there just to go to a practice round.
I was fortunate because I told you I had a friend who lived like 45 minutes outside of Augusta. So I had a free place to stay, which made the cost certainly a lot less offensive. Plus, he grew up in Georgia and is a massive golf fan, so it was a chance to hang out with him. So, I had a reason to do the trip, even if it was a practice round. And I am glad that I got to see Augusta and see the nature of it and go through the pro shop and walk the entire course. And I got to watch Tiger skip a ball across the water with Freddie Couples. And, I got my experience out of it. But I've never personally heard of anyone who has gotten a regular round.
Yeah, a lot of people, again, maybe if I switched it to practice round, I'm guessing I would get a ticket, but I don't know. Didn't Dana Wright go?
She's been, but she pays like a...
Oh, okay, she paid money to go.
She pays like a coyote, essentially. It's like whatever the version of that is for the Masters, she pays some service and just gets somebody else's badge and gets herself in that way. She doesn't actually get him for herself.
Someone else would say, got practice round ticket and first round ticket 2 years ago. Okay, that's the hope I need right there. That's the hope.
Just one person.
That's the hope. Hey, it means it's possible.
Drew's told us multiple times his brother could go to the Masters as a part of being a PGA pro. And Drew and his brother have neither.
Dude, you got to go. You love golf.
I think for him it's harder to get though. It's not like it's not like he can just go whenever necessary.
Does he have to enter his own separate lottery thing with other PGA pros or something?
I'm going to just start doing a media credential.
I don't think it's easy.
I'm going to see if Odyssey
those
will
are
send
almost
me.
impossible to get to. Trust me. I tried when I was at SB Nation and we had one credential. And guess one of the sales guys went.
With the media credential?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You think Odyssey only gets some, or like Kansas City could get one?
I don't think Kansas City could get one. I think Odyssey Corporate could.
Odyssey Corporate probably gets a couple.
Yeah.
But only a couple.
Maybe I should try to get one through my
guy Dave Scretta, who
I should try to
played.
get one through my Westwood one.
He not only got to go as a member of the media, he got to go as a member of the media and got selected as the media member who got to do a round. He got to play the damn thing.
Yeah, I just assume that it's people that are friends of partners and sponsors and things like that end up somehow winning magically this lottery for tickets to Augusta.
At least one guy said he got some.
Yeah, that's the hope I needed. I appreciate it. That's all I needed to hear.
What's it cost me? 5 minutes of time? Fill out the little form?
Yeah, exactly.
See if it does. But like every year, I saw people posting it earlier in the day, and then mine came later at night.
Yeah,
mine came at like 9 o'clock at night or something.
I didn't get an email till this morning, but a buddy said, hey, check your account. I logged into my account and saw the notification. I didn't get the email till this morning, but you could have gone on your account last night and it would have told you. One day I'm going to log in and I'm going to, trust me, I'll make sure you know.
I was happy when I won. And again, it was just practice round, but I was still thrilled about it.
Beggars can't be choosers. Well, you can, because literally you select what you want. So you actually can be.
They're just saying, like, you should be. Look, I think it's worth, like, if you get to 20 years old and you've never been selected, you should probably add practice round just so you can. You are a massive sports fan. You like being at cool
the bucket
sports
list
thing.
place.
Going to Augusta once, even if it's a practice round, is still off of a bucket list, I think.
Yeah.
It's not as good. But again, like I told you, I got to watch Tiger skip a ball or,
Yeah.
I've
been fortunate enough to see. I've seen Tiger play at the PGA Championship.
I got to see inside that house I wasn't supposed to go in because
you broke in. Yeah,
I didn't.
That's where you actually got gout. It was actually.
I didn't break.
It happened
in.
on that Augusta trip.
I used a wristband.
Yeah.
It wasn't initially mine.
Yeah. It
was on my wrist. The rest.
They don't mess around at Augusta. There's part of me that wants to experience
That's
it
why I'll
because
never get
you can't even take your phone in. Everybody's actually just in the moment, and I'm as much as anybody. I'm guilty of pulling my phone out and always have my phone out or whatever. It would be nice to go there and just know, like, no, just enjoy the moment. Just soak it in.
Yep. Can't even. There's like 2 spots where you can go get a photo. Right? They'll go take you in front of the clubhouse, and you can stand in a super long line, so you have your photo of I was at Augusta. That's the one thing about the practice round is you can bring a reel. Like I brought a DSLR. I got a bunch of photos from there. Not with a phone, but I could bring like a Canon, and I just took shots. And
that's cool. So
I have like, I don't know, a few hundred photos I probably took while I was there. But I wasn't checking Twitter or, surfing the internet or, like the stupid things you might do just because a phone's in your hand. Checking a text or an email or any of the nonsense that you just do because you're used to it.
For sure.
That kind of stuff is good. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Whether or not you get it. Someone says, I don't recall getting a rejection email just yet.
If you log into your...
I got one last night.
If you go log into your Masters account, you go there and it'll pop. When you go to tickets, it'll pop up the message. Look, maybe you'll get lucky, but... let us know, by the way, if you do. If anybody does get tickets, please let us know. Message in. I'll be curious to see.
It's fun. Maybe one day, Gold. Maybe
one day.
We can talk about Salvador Perez or hear from JJ Picollo coming up here in just a few minutes as we talked with the Royals general manager about the trade deadline and a number of other things going on with the club. But I had said this at the beginning of the Chiefs right half hour, and I really stand by it, which is I think the Chiefs, for the first time in like almost a decade, have to go into the season with a different attitude. And it's not that we're going to prove that we're the best. No, I think that you and I think the team itself has taken for granted that the regular season was a wholly unimportant thing that didn't matter. Therefore, they went into the season just being like, hey, we're the big dog, and you know it, and we know it, and we got a target on our back, and every once in a while you get us in the regular season, cute, whatever. They have to go into the season more than anything. These are markers and tests. And you aren't the best team every day on Sunday until you prove that you are. And so I think they have to go through, not even with a chip on their back, but with the mentality that is, we got to fight and claw and scratch and be more detailed than you. I think they got not lazy, but comfortable knowing they could win later or win a different way, win later in a game, win later in a season, get you next time. They didn't go into a game with stress. Teams went in knowing they were the worst team. Try to make teams feel that way a little bit again. Well, that's what I want this season.
I would like to think there'll be more of a sense of urgency early in the year. We talked about it earlier in the show, just the schedule. The schedule lends itself for you to potentially get off to a good start, but it also sets yourself up where you better be ready to roll right away, and you better have urgency early on in the season because there's not this let up down in the final 4 or 5 weeks of the schedule getting easier. We've gone through the schedule a couple times, and we all know that eventually from week 12 or 13 on, it is brutal. It's back-to-back-to-back games against teams like New England, Buffalo, and Cincinnati, for example, or the Chargers all mixed in there. It's brutal. They got to get off to a good start. And I look, you're humbled. You win 6 games in the NFL, you're automatically humbled. Now, you want to prove people that that's not who you are. There's that motivation in there. But I don't think they're walking in there necessarily the same way they have in the past.
I think
but
they
that's
have a
not
hard
a
time
negative.
convincing teams to take them as serious as they have been.
But that can be a good thing. You're right. As much as teams are during the run were fearful of them, and that can be used to your advantage. There's also something to be said for these other teams. While they may not be fearful of you anymore, and that can be used as a negative, there's also the spin on it now, whereas these other teams maybe aren't getting up for your game the same way. Before, everybody looked to see when Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs were on your schedule, they wanted to beat the Super Bowl champs or the back-to-back Super Bowl champs, the team that's been running the league. I don't think some teams, and even fans, will have that same mentality necessarily. That can be used to your advantage. Are other teams going to look past the Chiefs? That might sound silly for us, but I don't think if you walk into
you can't lose all of it, because he's just too good.
Yeah.
Won too much. All the mystique doesn't leave, but I get your point.
Like, are the Denver Broncos, who just won the division, are they approaching that? And now it's the first game of the year, so everybody's hyped up.
I think they got to say you got to come to us.
Yeah, which can be used against them perhaps as well.
Yeah, because you're like, we're the better team. Why are people not saying we're winning the division? You get that arrogance part of it. It could backfire in a lot of ways. But like I watched, I've seen like little clips. I haven't been watching the show, but the quarterback show. Again on Netflix. And Jayden Daniels was beaming on the sideline for Mahomes. Gushing. He's like, God, I wish I was in this game. He's like, I just like being in big-time games with big-time players. And
he still sees it that way. He was glazing Patrick Mahomes for sure. Yeah, no question.
That's the word he used.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's exactly what he said. Did you guys play that clip on the show?
Let me go watch Mr. Mahomes throw the football. I got to see it in person myself.
Mahomes back over the middle.
How do you find that?
And he went on from there.
At the very end of the clip, he's like, that's the exact phrasing he uses. But it's just, it's very interesting to see kind of the way it goes, I guess, for them this season, because I think it hurt them last year that teams didn't go into the game worried about them. Because when you go in there, I think you make more mistakes. I think you take chances you wouldn't normally take. Teams stopped doing that against the Chiefs once they realized that regular fear that they had built up in all these teams wasn't the same or didn't need to be the same as it was before. It's just the first time in a long time where I feel like teams are going to look at them at least slightly different. Now, again, I don't think I completely get washed away because it is still Patrick Mahomes. He is the single most successful quarterback to ever reach the age of 30. By his age, no one has had more success than him. Nobody just went to 7 straight AFC title games, went to 5 Super Bowls in 7 years, nobody did that. So, like, people don't have selective memory. They need to just forget Patrick Mahomes is still that guy. But as a team, I think they understand that the roster's had problems over the last couple of years. And there's been ways to exploit it. And because of that, they've been 2 straight years. No one respects the Chiefs' deep passing game. And they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because what have they given him to actually respect it?
No, and that's where hopefully Ken Walker causes that to change. And then also do the Chiefs look in the mirror after a 6-win season and reshuffle the deck a little bit, and Andy Reid adapt the way he has throughout his career and play calling, but also this is on Mahomes as well and how they handle the RPO game. Do they go under center a little bit more? There's a lot of different things that they can do differently that other teams haven't seen over the last couple of years that you would like to think could open some things up. But we'll see if they're actually able to execute that.
We'll see which way it goes. We'll talk about, we'll ask JJ Picollo about it in a couple of minutes. But Salvador Perez is only, you'd mentioned right at the beginning, 1 home run away from tying George Brett's Royals record. Now, look, some of this is obvious. Salvador Perez is an all-time Royal. We'd mentioned at the new stadium, he'll have a statue. It won't be right away. It'll be after he retires or 10 years from now or whatever. But they'll put a statue of Salvador Perez.
Of course.
Outside of a stadium that the Royals play in, and rightfully so. I think all of these numbers are really important if you want Salvador Perez to be a Hall of Famer. And in Kansas City, why the hell wouldn't we? He is about 75 home runs away from having the most home runs by a catcher of all time. He's only 50 away from having the second most of all time. And he is like 25 or 30 away from being top 3 or 4. So, like, passing Brett, though, passing another Hall of Famer at catcher, being a franchise, even a bad one like the Royals, all-time leading home run getter, but as a catcher, that says something. Now, it says a little bit something about the franchise that they've never had someone hit more than 320 home runs. Whatever. 318 home runs, 317 home runs. But it still means something. And I'm looking forward to it. It gives me something to enjoy this summer. It's not everything, but I'll enjoy that Salvador Perez gets to break that record sometime over the next couple of months.
It's unfortunate that we've had so many seasons like this where there's individual stuff we're looking forward to and a down year for the team. But yes, that Salvador Perez is an all-time great Royal. He's going to eventually be in the Hall of Fame. If there's any debate about that, this kind of stuff can help his cause. I still think if he ends up finishing his career in a Royals uniform, and I think that's the plan as of right now, although I think this offseason there's got to be some conversations about what his role looks like next year. Moving forward.
It should be lessened.
It needs to be. But that should help his case for Cooperstown if he finishes his entire career with one team. You just don't see that in baseball anymore. And yeah, he will get in. He's a fan favorite. The media likes him. All that does matter, whether you think it should or not, for Hall of Fame cases, especially in baseball as well. So yeah, this is just another thing to add to the long list of milestones. And I do, as I said earlier, I hope it happens at the K. So whether it's today or tomorrow.
He's got to go on a cold streak in the home run department.
Today or tomorrow, I would love for him to tie Brett's record. Plus, I don't know this is confirmed or not, but maybe George Brett's there tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool.
I imagine he'd probably be at the K.
That'd be pretty cool.
On the off chance
if he ties it or breaks it with George Brett in attendance, I think that'd be just really cool.
Salvador Perez, and this is the thing I don't understand, because like they've needed him for all these years, so it's a little bit different, and he was a younger player. He was only 24. Like, it's so hard to people to remember. Do you realize how old Salvador Perez was when he was catching 150 games when they win the World Series? He was 25. He's a kid. He was very, very young. Of course, he was catching 150 games when he was 24 years old, hitting. And by the way, he wasn't the hitter even he was then. His real power came in his late 20s and then into his early 30s, where his power numbers really took a shot up. He was a hit 12 home runs guy until he got into his mid-20s, right around that time, and then the numbers really jumped up, obviously, when he was 21 and hit 48 of them. But when you look at the way his career has gone, he has always been, especially lately, a better player when you give him less games. But they can't shake that season where he hit 40 home runs and he played in 161 games as a catcher, which is insane. But he's paying the price now. And so, like, if they could get him down to a 120-game player between DH and catcher, with 80 of those games being catching, or 60 of those games being catching, I think that they might be able to still squeeze a little juice out of this for Salvador Perez. Because I don't think we can no longer count on he'll just turn it on, because that's happened all the time. But we got to stop that now.
That's what I mean by the conversation in the offseason. Yeah. And there's an argument, look, that probably should have happened this past offseason before they gave him the extension and what his role was going to be. It also makes you feel different heading into 2027 when you see what Carter Jensen's doing. Not only his bat, Cody, but he's gotten much better as a defensive catcher as the year has gone on. Early in the year, there was some mistakes that were happening that were rookie mistakes. And he's a rookie, but rookie mistakes. He's just gotten a lot more confident, better behind the plate. Yeah. That'll only continue to grow throughout his baseball career. I think that makes it a little bit easier as you transition to less games probably in 27 from Salvador Perez.
Well, and I think it would be harder to make that transition if you didn't love the situation behind it. Most teams, and we've talked about this 1,000 times, most teams don't get anywhere close to the level of production the Royals have gotten out of Salvador Perez in their career. No chance. Catchers, people will start guys who hit 205 with a 301 on-base percentage and 12 home runs. There'll be 140-game starters for teams in Major League Baseball. Catching ain't that deep. There are not that many good catchers in Major League Baseball.
After the great year that Cal Raleigh had last year, he's hitting like 180. Now, he's been hurt for a lot. He had a grand slam last night, actually. But point being is what you're saying. A lot, catchers hitting 210, 220 is actually not unheard of at all.
No, like you look at, if you, like in your head, if you just like looked up Carter Jensen, you're like, well, he's only got a 310 on base percentage. That's better than most of them. Like, again, it's so hard to imagine sometimes because people forget the position of value. Catcher is it is such a physically demanding position. Teams almost don't care that you catch or don't catch. Like if you catch and you can't hit, they don't care. Like, who's leading in WAR this year? That's why Cal Raleigh's year was so weird last year. And not to say that it can't happen again. I mean, I don't even know who the best, leading WAR catcher is this year. Do we know? It's probably
no idea. Yeah, no idea.
I mean, it's not Cal Raleigh this year, as we had previously mentioned. But like most people just don't get offense out of it, I guess is the point. And so, but they have a better position than most teams, Gold. They have a budding, really good, one of the 5 best catchers in baseball, maybe. And it's a good year, actually, in fairness. The A's have got one that's also, there's good catchers this year, but it's still lower. Like, they can replace Salvador Perez more easily than most teams. This should make the transition easier, that's all.
Up next, we'll get to what's trending. And then earlier today, the general manager and president of baseball operations, J.J. Picollo, joined us. We found out how serious is this back injury for Bobby Witt Jr., and has the phone gotten a little bit busier heading into the trade deadline?
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help. And help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
We've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
One contractor, all things parking lot. That's who they are over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, a locally owned and operated company who is ready to take on that project for you. Whether it be commercial paving services, asphalt services, or any large-scale project. The first thing a client sees about your business is the parking lot, and Gann Asphalt and Concrete is ready to make sure it gives the right first impression. Trust a locally owned and operated company who is ready to do that work for you. Give them a call, 816-688-3512, or check them out at GannAsphalt.com.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
The corrupt political establishment. If you're ready to give them the finger, Taylor Burks is your man for Congress. Taylor Burks, America First conservative, outsider, 3 combat deployments as a naval commander. Taylor Burks will stand with President Trump against rhinos and the corrupt establishment. In Congress, Burks will always put America first. He'll work with Trump to deport every last illegal, ban communist China from owning 1 inch of our land, and protect our elections by passing the SAVE Act once and for all. So if you want to tell off the political establishment, you conservative warrior Taylor Burks, an America First patriot for Congress. Paid for by Show Me Valor PAC. www.showmevalorpac.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Valor PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
The best football contests are back out in Las Vegas with Circa Sports. $30 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake in any of the 3 contests. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor. You pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, nope, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever. Now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Sniff the difference. Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500.
Mike's got this.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on What's Trending, the Royals back in action tonight. 6:40 first pitch. Winder Avila on the bump for Kansas City. Vern's on deck show at 5:30. Again, as we mentioned, keep an eye on some potential history. Salvador Perez 1 home run away from tying the Royals home run record, which of course is held by Royals great and Hall of Famer George Brett.
Next up on What's Trending, FIFA set to investigate the post-match fight between Argentina and Spain after their dust-up right after the match had finished. Again, not surprising. Argentina's got a really bad reputation for stirring things up. Hell, at the beginning of that match and pretty much every match they had, there seemed to be some kind of dust-up or constant complaining. You go back through with the red card. Sometimes it does bother me in sports sometimes. They're like, what do you mean I committed a foul? When it's like blatantly obvious, like, what do you mean? You flip the guy upside down without making any contact of the football. Look like that guy at Yellowstone in the bison.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it is what it is. But that's not surprising. But yeah, Fernandez and some others had a dust up. They're going to look at it. But this is the problem with like a sport in which the only matches that really matter are every 4 years. Okay, suspend them for some matches. What's the punishment?
Yeah.
They got 4 years until that really matters. They might
Well, no,
national
they'll get internet. Yeah, and say there's other international contests.
But they
and
don't
stuff,
matter
but
like the.
No, for sure. Elsewhere, number 3, ESPN today going through massive layoffs. This all stems from their acquisition of NFL Network. Some of the names you guys recognize: Tom Pelissero reportedly out. Carl Ravitch, Stefania Bell. She's the one that did the documentary on Alex Smith and that injury. Very good documentary. Cam Newton, Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark in the headlines because he was let go in the middle of his show yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There's a few other names that
Bart Scott.
Yeah, Bart Scott I saw as well. But never like to see anybody lose their job. Obviously, we're in the media as well, so I don't like it. No matter what your opinion is on ESPN, yeah, it's not what it was maybe 10 or 15 years ago, but I still don't like seeing this many layoffs in the media industry. And some people that I thought were very, very talented. Doesn't mean I agreed with all their stances, but it sucks to see.
Check out Andrew Marchand. He's the one who always has all the media stuff. Next up on What's Trending, the Miami Dolphins agree to a new extension with Jordan Brooks. He gets a 3-year deal worth over $50 million to remain with Miami. They're an interesting case study because they extended multiple people this offseason. which is surprising because they stink and let a bunch of other people go, including Tua, and signed Malik Willis. But Jordan Brooks, a very good young pass rusher. He's 28 years old. Or linebacker, sorry, not pass rusher, good linebacker across the board. They're going to hold on to at least some of their talented players, so we'll see.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Earlier today, the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, J.J. Picollo, joined us as he does every couple weeks. In fact, the next time we have him on will be the day after the trade deadline, which will be really interesting to see just how aggressive in terms of trading away pieces the Royals are. One of the topics we asked J.J. about today was that trade deadline, but we did start the conversation, I think, with news that Royals fans want the answer to, among many things, which is the health of Bobby Wood Jr., who left yesterday's game with a back injury.
Yeah, we'll know better today when he gets in just to see how he feels. I would imagine he's not going to play today, and, we might take it day to day, but, you got a superstar player that we want to be careful with. And, he plays hard. I mean, that's the bottom line. He plays hard. Unfortunately, the tough part about being in all-star games, you don't get that 4-day break like most players get. And, he was active during those days. So I think you put all those things together. Now we're playing in some extreme heat, and it adds up a little bit, and it's taking its toll on him. But we're clearly going to be very careful with him. But I would say overall there's not extreme concern. It's just wanting to handle him correctly.
How do you guys handle these injuries where you're like, you don't want it to become ever a long-term issue, right? Like something an off-season couldn't get back to 100% versus – we talked about this before, like standings versus team, but Bobby's one of those players that wants to play every day. How do you guys handle like a season-long adjustment to an injury like this if it's something that could flare up?
Yeah, well, you got to listen to the player. I mean, we'll do all of our testing, and we'll have a good handle on what exactly the diagnosis is, and right now it's nothing serious. But you want to, again, because Bobby plays so hard, I mean, there's not a night that goes by. He's not sliding. He's not diving. He's always doing something. You have to recognize how that player plays. We got to recognize where we are in the season. You always look at like upcoming off days. Could you give him an off day the day before, the day after an off day, so he gets 2 days off? You just got to be careful with him. Bobby wants to play every day. I mean, this goes back 2 years ago. I remember we went 161 games, and we had clinched on a Saturday night, and game 162, he's like, you know what, I'm taking off because I want to play on Monday and be fresh for the playoffs. So he's got that drive, very similar to Salvi. Salvi very rarely plays at 100%. But he manages it. And I think Bobby's going to learn how to manage these things and already has. But we also have to be sort of a guiding hand here between, let's just be smart and logical about things more so than being so aggressive and just say, yeah, go ahead and go get him.
Thinking of Salvador Perez, we now know he's one homer away from tying George Brett's all-time Royals home run record with the home run that he had yesterday. Maybe he breaks it tonight, hopefully. We've talked to you in the past just about how important, eventually, hopefully getting into the Hall of Fame is for Salvi and his standing in baseball history. What do you think this record would mean to him?
I think it would mean a lot. I mean, Salvi, the number one thing for Salvi has always been that he wants to win. And, I think it was said last night after the game, we hope whenever he ties and breaks, it's also on the heels of a win, because it always makes it that much more special, especially for Salvi. But, he's solidified his place in Royals history. But when you are tying and surpassing George Brett, the greatest player in our history and one of the greatest players of all time, that's a different level. That's something that's really, really special. And I know deep down inside, I don't think Salvi will ever say he wants to pass George, but he's a competitor, and he's right there. He's knocking on the door. This isn't any surprise coming into the year. I think he needed 17 coming into the year. So not a surprise that he's going to, tie and surpass George any moment now. And it's exciting for the organization. I mean, it's the old thing. Records are meant to be broken. One thing I really always stood out to me about George Brett in 2015, I don't think there was a person any happier for us winning that year than George. And I think that just stood out to me because it was 1985, his team, but he was happier than anyone. So I would imagine he's going to be the exact same way when Salvi breaks his record.
Does he pay attention to the all-time list, just out of curiosity? Because he passed Pudge for 7th most all-time, but he's not crazy far behind being top 5 and top 4 or even top 2 is not out of the question for him.
Yeah, I don't know if he pays attention to it, but certainly, the media and social media will make him aware. I think when he tied Johnny Bench's record, I think we were in Cleveland, he was very excited about it, but it was more of an honor to be mentioned with Johnny Bench. And I think Salvi will approach all of this the same way. So I don't think he goes to bed or wakes up thinking about, I want to be, second all-time home runs for catchers. But, logically speaking, that is your resume. And when it comes time for Hall of Fame balloting, they're the things that are going to be talked about. He's whatever, 4th, 5th all-time for catchers, games played, all those things that, go into a Hall of Fame resume. They're all important, but again, Salvi wants to win. It's the team concept, but because he's been able to do that, I think he's achieved some of these individual achievements. Just because he thinks about the team first, and when you do that, players have good seasons, they have great careers, and that's what Salvi's done.
I want to ask you about some individual players here in just a little bit, but last week, JJ, I think I put the way I was viewing the season at this moment as I wanted some of the players who had been there to prove that they are who they still are. So guys like Salvador Perez or Vinny, or even like what you guys have in a manager in Q. Do you kind of view, I know you still want to win, but do you view part of this as being, hey, give us evidence to prove that these are the right guys going forward too, from a manager end, from a player end? Do you guys look at the season that way at all?
I think that's always going on. Regardless of what's happening, winning or losing, we're constantly evaluating players. And, we say it all the time. We're always trying to improve our roster. There's no perfect roster out there. No matter what team it is, there's no perfect roster. There's always places to get better. It certainly makes us feel better going into an off season when guys have established themselves. Like, okay, we can count on this player. We can count on this person. That makes you feel good because it's hard to rework your entire team every single year. So the more knowns that you have, the easier the off season is, and I know going into this off season, our pitching is going to be a concern. I mean, we know that right now. We knew it going into this year with the bullpen. We've had a really unfortunate run of injuries to starting pitchers. That makes it really challenging to get through games. So, anybody who can establish and firmly place their feet in a spot on our team right now helps us manage the offseason even better. So we're constantly evaluating those things, whether we're 20 games over or 20 games under 500. You're always evaluating those things. So I don't think it's any different. Our biggest challenge right now is to go into every single game like it's the most important game of the year. We want to win every game that we possibly can. So that focus always has to be there regardless of what your record currently is. And that's what we're trying to focus on right now. We're not having meetings with players saying, hey, you have 2 months here to show that you belong on this team. They know that. They're very smart. They know what's going on and what the coaches and front office are doing from an evaluation standpoint.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on the Golden Oak Lending phone line. The next time we will have you on the show, I believe it'll be the day after the trade deadline. How much, if at all, have the calls started to pick up with people reaching out to you, or have you guys reaching out to other teams, knowing that we're getting pretty close here to the deadline?
Yeah, it'd be very open. It actually picked up a lot yesterday. Yeah, it was almost like a memo went out. Okay, let's start now. But
2 weeks.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with the draft, ending last Sunday, and then you go into an all-star break, and then you get everybody back together in town, and now you have deeper discussions because now you're focused on the trade deadline. There's always been some soft discussions about it prior to. Now this is what's in front of us, so you really lock down and you focus on what you may accomplish as a team. And, yesterday seemed to be the day that things picked up.
One of the names we think teams will expect an interest on is Lane Thomas. What just has changed for him this season? Because now you look at the season numbers, JJ, pretty good. Looks like a gamble that paid off for you guys this offseason. What has changed for him?
Yeah, I think he's just gotten comfortable. He came off the injury last year with the plantar fasciitis. He had the surgery. Early on, he wasn't playing as regularly as he is right now, but he's earned the right to play regularly, whether it's a right-hander or left-hander. He's just settled in. I mean, this isn't the first time Lane's swung the bat well in his career. You look back, he's had good runs in the past, and this is what we would have expected. Would have been nice to have it all year long, but he still has another 60-some games to go. Who knows what his numbers are going to look like by the end of the year, but they're lining up like we anticipated that they would. He's very hot right now, one of the hottest hitters, going into the end of July here, which is a great thing for us, either whether he's with us or not. That's a great thing for us, because going back to trying to win every night, he's helped us win some ball games here since we've gotten back from the break, and prior to the break, he's swinging the bat well. So it's good to see. And, he's an easy guy to root for. He's a team guy. That was a big reason why we signed him. We believed in the ability. We believed he was going to fit in our clubhouse, and he's certainly done so.
When you look at, I guess, like you'd mentioned the pitching going into next year and some of the concern over it, is there any, I know this is a little bit in the early game, but is there thought that two of the big names you guys have in the top 100, Shields or Churio, are fast rising enough that they are within a year of helping you, or is this more like a 2 or 3 year thing? Just thinking about how the pitching staff might need people down the road.
The way I'll speak, from my perspective, I don't like speeding the clock up when it comes to planning. We won't go into this off season. All right, Churio or Shields is going to be with us next July. Like, we're not going to plan that way. We're going to plan like we need to fill out our roster and let those guys develop as they should. Because when they come up to the major leagues, they're going to be faced with challenges. So we want to make sure they're as prepared as they possibly can be for the challenges that lie ahead in the big leagues. So, you always do some projected rosters, but you still project them a couple of years away. And if they speed up because they're earning their way up, then that's a great thing for us. We say it all the time. You never have enough pitching. So if you have two young pitchers that seem like they're ready for the major leagues faster than you expected, that's a great thing. But right now, we want them to, the old saying, be where your feet are. Right now, they're in high A ball. That's still really 3 levels away from the major leagues. So they got work to do. They're doing extremely well. I'm sure Churio threw the no-hitter, partial no-hitter, shared no-hitter the other day. We were disappointed. David Shields wasn't in the Futures game. I think he's been pitcher of the week 3 times this year. I don't know what a guy needs to do, but, that is what it is. It doesn't take away from what he's doing. We certainly notice it and have a lot of confidence. We see his velocity creeping up a little bit. His breaking ball's tightening up. He's doing everything. And, I think people forget, too, that he was a 17-year-old high school senior. So he's a very young player at the level that he's playing at. And obviously Churio is even younger, but you're talking about 2 really like teenagers pitching at a high A level where there's a bunch of college players in there, and they're really more than holding their own. So that's a great thing for us.
Back to the trade deadline just for a second, as we're talking to the general manager of the Royals, JJ Picollo. How much of it all, whether it's you guys or just even in these conversations you're having with other teams, does the potential uncertainty of next year around the CBA play a role at all for how you or other teams approach the deadline?
Yeah, you got to think about it, but in the end, the teams that we'll be talking to are teams that are trying to win. They're not worried about 2027 right now. They're worried about 2026. I don't think that's going to factor in a whole lot. I think maybe players that are on expiring contracts in 2027, that could potentially play a factor in what their value is. But in the end, the team that wants that player the most is going to pay what they need to pay to get that player. And I think the seller on the other end is going to make out just fine.
Last question I have for you, JJ, just because I found the article itself interesting, so I didn't know how it was affecting you guys. There's a big AI crackdown, apparently, from baseball because of the way it was being used in dugouts by maybe some teams. I don't know if it was yours or not. What do you guys think about the usage of these things in games, or what's been taking place in baseball to try to limit it in some capacity? I guess just where are you guys as an organization on it?
Yeah, I think every team's always looking for an edge somehow. And, if I understand the whole investigation correctly, there was no sanctions handed out for any wrongdoing. I think what teams were doing were finding, I don't even know if you could call them loopholes, but they were finding ways within the rules to maximize information you could get that sort of circumvents the spirit of the rule. but it wasn't breaking the rules. Otherwise, we would have heard more about it. And I think MLB is just doing what they do. They police it. They're tightening things up. We go through these things pretty often. It's usually just not in the middle of the season something like that happens. So I don't really know. I will tell you, we weren't one of the teams. We try to gain any advantage we can, but whatever we're doing, we never got a call about it. So when we got the memo from the league, clearly they found out about some questionable ways of using the iPads. But the iPads are regulated by MLB operators every night. Everything that's loaded is approved by MLB. So it's already pretty tight. But I think this was just a warning, like this, we're not going to let it get any more loose than it has been right now.
Separate from the dugout usage, just out of curiosity, as a front office, though, like how much on a yearly, daily basis do you guys as a front office use AI?
Well, we use it a lot. I mean, our whole in-house system is built around and really represents AI. I mean, there's all kinds of projection models and whatnot in it. So we use AI. The one thing we try to be careful of is, just because, Claude spits it out doesn't mean it's 100% accurate. So anything we might use, we have to fact check it and, do a deeper dive to figure out if it's actually accurate. You can make a lot of mistakes if you just go with what AI tells you. So you just got to be careful with it. But, we do use it. I think every organization in any profession is using AI in some fashion. So we do use it, but it's not, I'll give you a quick example. A player could go in and say, I'm facing pitcher X tonight. Tell me how I need to game plan. It'll spit something out for you, but it doesn't mean it's the right game plan. So if we've got players doing that, and we have had players come to us and say, what do you think about this? We just match it up with the information we have. And you know what? If it's accurate, okay, it's not bad, but, be careful that you're just not following what Claude or whatever other engines are telling you. So we just got to be careful, monitor it. It's not the answer, but it may be part of the answer. So you just use it intelligently.
So that was JJ Picollo, president of Baseball Ops, Royals GM, with us earlier today. The last part, I was just kind of interested in the AI stuff. Anyway, we've had conversations, the three of us, about how teams utilize it. With what he said, like I have no problem with the idea is, hey, we're going to use it, but it's not making the decision for us. That's my thing. I don't want to make the decision for you, but I'm all about getting even more information, which is what AI can kick back and give you an idea and have it make things simpler for you. But nobody is just strictly 100% doing that from a front office perspective. The Mets stuff was, they were asking, like, what pitcher should we put in? And they were just doing it. That's crazy.
It's insane. Teams have gone too far down and look, this goes the same as like people have had this issue with like students and stuff like this, too reliant. You still have to use your human brain, not just plug into Claude. Should I throw John Schreiber or Lucas Urseg in the next inning? If my team was doing that, I would genuinely say fire everyone.
But it makes sense if
fire them. Of course, the Mets are one of the worst teams in baseball. We're doing that. Shocker.
But what does make sense is if I'm, we'll just throw out random player here. If I'm Jack Caglione and I want to, hey, what should I maybe be doing against the pitcher tonight? I don't know who it is. I can't remember. And they want to use some of the information that AI is spitting out along with theirs, and they come up with a decision based off of both. I have no problem with that. I think that's being smart. But as we've also talked about on this show in the past, whether it's the Royals or any other subject, you also don't want to confuse the hell out of everybody by having too much information.
I'll tell you right now.
Too much information can be a problem.
I'm going to be honest. I think that is an actual problem the Royals have in their organization. I think that they either get too much information and therefore do circles with the same information. Therefore, it's all. And by the way, I'm just telling you right now, I have heard from people who have played for this team who think the Royals' system of information is too complicated, therefore makes it too hard to get the information they need to hit well. So, like, I'm not saying that's every player, and look, I'll be honest with you, some of those ones are probably the ones who didn't hit as well, who have that to say about it.
Sure.
But that would not be the first team who's been accused of too much information is a bad thing too. Because now you're just doing circles because for the same reason your 9th grade statistics teacher, Gold, told you that you can make any statistic sound any way you want. I can backtrack any piece of information, say, well, because they're more likely to do this, I should actually do the opposite or do this. I think the teams are using it a little too much. And